road as the Big 12 North rival Buffaloes get ready to tackle the Tigers. Colorado quarterback Cody Hawkins has led his team to victory, looking more like a veteran senior than a redshirt freshman. Touchdown, Colorado! Missouri QB Chase Daniel will have a tough test ahead of him as he faces a defense that's anchored by the nation's leading tackler, Colorado's Jordan Dyson.
He is belted, really popped by the linebacker.
Colorado needs a win for a December bowl berth. The Tigers need a victory to stay in the Big 12 championship hunt.
Wide open touchdown.
9th-ranked Missouri battles Colorado. Set Ralphie free. Next on FSN.
Let's go. Alongside the foothills of the Rockies on a spectacular first Saturday in November, it's the Dr. Pepper Big 12 game of the week. And tonight, the 9th-ranked Missouri Tigers take on the Colorado Buffaloes. A lot at stake for Missouri in the Big 12 North standings. They try to keep pace with the Kansas Jayhawks, winners earlier today over Nebraska. And our matchup features two very talented young quarterbacks. Chase Daniel, 5th in the nation in passing yards. And for the Buffaloes, Cody Hawkins, a very consistent one that plays like a coach's son. Hi, everybody. Joel Myers alongside Gary Reasons, and welcome to Folsom Field. Well, in recent years, there have not been that many memorable Novembers for the Missouri Tigers. They try to change all that tonight, and to get it done, they've got to slow down a very hot tailback for the Buffaloes. In fact, he's got 5 100-yard games over his last 6 outings, Hugh Charles.
Well, Hugh Charles gives Colorado the balance they need, Joel. They've got a redshirt freshman running the show at quarterback. We talked about Cody Hawkins, but I think that Hugh Charles, if he's able to run the football well, they can control the tempo of the game. They can control the clock as well, keep the ball out of the hands of the Missouri offense.
Well, it has been a successful run because they do have balance in the attack for Colorado, and that is the buzzword for the Missouri Tigers. They actually have a ground game as opposed to a spread offense like Texas Tech. And the options are there for quarterback Chase Daniel. We talked about the way he can throw the football. Well, he can also hand it off to Tony Temple. He can look downfield to 2 of the very best tight ends in the nation, and he's also got a home run threat, a return specialist out of the St. Louis area in Jeremy Macklin.
Well, he's got playmakers, Joel, and that's what you want with your football team. I know Gary Pinkel likes these guys. Martin Rucker, one of the best tight ends in the country. He leads his team in receptions as well as the nation tight ends in receptions. Jeremy Macklin, hey, they'll put the ball in his hands a number of ways today, in the run game, in the passing game. Watch for him in the kick return game also, because he can probably take the game over in the special teams game area because he's got 2 touchdowns already this season. Look for Colorado to kick the ball away from Jeremy Macklin.
Yeah, Jeremy Macklin's only had 3 returns so far, at least punt returns, since conference play has started, so they are kicking away from that young man. A big play specialist. Can they get the touches for Macklin? And can the Buffaloes slow down one of the highest scoring offenses of the nation? Jordan Dyson all over the field, one of the top tacklers in the entire country. Stay with us. We'll go to the studio when we return. Join the guys, Marco Farr and Mike Goldberg. Presented by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. Brought to you in part by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it until you order it. By Liberty Mutual. Responsibility, what's your policy? And by Sonic. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. Welcome back once again to Folsom Field. We couldn't ask for better conditions. We couldn't have paid for this kind of weather, but we'll take it. Today's game presented in FSN HD as we head down to the sideline. Join 3rd member of our team now, Jim Knox. Knoxy.
Coach, how do you slow down this 9th-ranked Missouri Tiger offense? They're averaging over 40 yards, 40 points per game.
Well, our defense done a good job, I think, coming down the stretch here. We got a good club as well. We know they're very potent, but you know, we're looking forward to be the opportunity to play these guys, and we've had some good games ourselves and looking forward to it.
Best of luck, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, Jim, Missouri has won the toss. They want a fast start. They are going to receive, and they like to get on the board. In fact, 4 times in the first 8 games they've scored on the opening possession. And I talked about good weather. First Saturday in November, 67 degrees, almost no humidity and very little wind down in the bowl at Folsom. So here we go, one of the great venues in the Big 12. And we are underway. Macklin misjudged it. It was only a yard into the end zone, but it sailed on him. And it took him right out of the game. So Missouri, instead of a return, we talked about all the touches you're trying to get that young man. It sailed over his head. Chase Daniel, the Missouri Tigers, 40 points a game, 7th in the nation as a group in total offense. He's got options. We mentioned that. Now can they get it to Rucker? Chase Coffman will also be in there. They'll spread the defense. And a very experienced offensive line.
Yeah, his job, Joel, is to distribute the football to the playmakers, and he does that very, very well.
Macklin, the motion man, running a short side option, and nothing's there. Macklin stayed there, the wingman. Man, he's dropped for a loss of a yard. Back and make it a loss of 2. Back to the 18. Dies on, as usual, on top of the situation. He leads the nation in solo tackles per game at better than 8 a contest. Wheatley, Big 12 Player of the Week. 3 picks last week in the win for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, they played a great job, a great game against Texas Tech last weekend. Another spread offense this week against Colorado. So they need to have that same kind of performance defensively to slow this offense down.
Empty the backfield for Daniel. Little bubble screen popped into the air, intercepted, going the other way, and it's a big underneath tackle. He makes the pick. George Hippolyte, the junior from Los Angeles.
Yeah, trying to get the quick little bubble screen to the outside, and this ball is tipped, and Chase Daniel has something happen to him that you don't want to have happen when you play on the road. You let the crowd get into it. Take a look here. He throws it outside, and the ball comes off the hand of the receiver. That's Will Franklin trying to get the football. Hippolyte, the defensive tackle, smart enough to get to the football, and now Colorado set up a great field position and a huge turnover early in the ball game.
He's only a junior. Out of Loyola High School in downtown L.A. He was second team all Big 12 last year.
Yeah, they forced turnovers last week against Texas Tech, and that was the reason they won the football game in Lubbock and came out here defensively, made another huge turnover, and now set up Cody Hawkins and company with the football.
Yeah, they went into that game -9, came out +4 in that game. So -5 overall. Give it off to the wide receiver on the reverse. And spinning inside the 10 for the Buffaloes. A gain of about 2 for Josh Smith, the true freshman. Another Southern California native out in the Valley, Moore Park, California. In our Prudential red zone. Colorado, so far this year, not that successful. 25 out of 35 doesn't cut it.
No, that's not numbers you like to have. You like to have a lot higher production than in the red zone, and this is a huge opportunity for them to go up on a team that's ranked number 9 in the BCS coming into this football game. Need to make a statement early, and you can here in this first possession.
They've got a power back in there. Byron Ellis in the single. It'll be second and about 7. Play fake. Hawkins waggling. Got the tight end. It's complete. And they get Sprague instead. The senior from Holyoke, Colorado. And he's got it close to a 1st and goal. He's a yard shy of where he needed to go.
Now you see the offensive execution here by Cody Hawkins. The play fake there coming out on a waggle. And Dusty Sprague, who's a senior receiver, does a great job of making himself available to the quarterback to catch the football. And now inside the 5-yard line. Colorado needs to put points on the board, Joel, here. They feel like if they can get a touchdown, it'll be huge for their confidence.
And they're not timid about going for it on 4th down even. They do that on a regular basis. Ellis will stay in the backfield, only a yard. And they line up the tight end gear in the backfield. It'll be Ellis. Big hole up the middle. He's in. Touchdown, Colorado. Points off a turnover right away for the Buffaloes.
You try to get balance with your offense, throw the football, but what about running? Well, Byron Ellis does a good job here coming inside, gets a good block inside, and gets the football right over the end line there. The line judge coming in to call the touchdown for the Buffaloes. Nice job of executing after the turnover by Hippolyte, putting points on the board. More importantly, a touchdown early against Missouri.
Eberhard in for the point after. Man, a successful beginning for the underdogs at home, the Colorado Buffaloes. So Missouri coughs it up right away. Their second snap offensively. Colorado makes the pay and is on top by 7. High School in L.A. out of Culver City.
You capitalize on a defensive turnover. You put points on the board. That's most important when in a football game. Get momentum on your side. Keep your fans in the ball game.
Well, Missouri is trying to win on the first Saturday in November for the first time under head coach Gary Pinkel. Jeremy Macklin is back and a little bit farther back now. He's back at the goal line where he should have been the last time. He stayed at about the 6 or 7. They've never won on the first Saturday. 0-6 under Pinkel. Now they play catch up early. Macklin from the goal line. He's got 2 punt return for scores, tries to burn him on the outside and turns the corner at the 20. Runs out of racing room and across the 25 up to the 26. Hippolyte, though, with a big play on the deflection early.
Yeah, make an opportunity play here for your team. You do it. George Hippolyte gets it down inside the 10-yard line. Then the offense does the work they need to. Cody Hawkins hands off to Byron Ellis and gets the early touchdown here for Colorado. Huge momentum swing, and now they got a chance to defend the turf again.
It's funny how things work so often. You talk about the rush ends, but with the 4-3 of Colorado, Dizon is the catalyst, but the 200 tackles are their keys. They set everything up. Hippolyte and Brandon Nicholas.
Yeah, they're 2 of the better defensive tackles in the big conference. The pair of them, they're doing a good job for the defense.
Daniel going to get the tight ends involved. Not the snap. It's a false start.
Going to push the Tigers back here. Chase Daniel getting up the line of scrimmage. And Joel, they run a no-huddle offense. It's a fastball offense, they call it. They're used to spreading things out there. They'll call the play at the line of scrimmage, and Chase Daniel, he just orchestrates. This is an offense that he's run since high school, and he's very proficient at it.
Saw the number. It's also the 3rd fewest penalty yards in the nation per game. But what an ominous beginning for Mizzou. Daniel, pocket holds up, ton of time, going deep, has his man complete to the 40. It's William Franklin down the sideline to the 10, and Horst caught it out of bounds right around the 5. Where will they spot it? That'll get him back in a hurry.
And there was a lot of talk about Will Franklin not getting enough touches of the football. You saw the first pass of the ball game by Chase Daniel, intercepted off of his hands on a deflection. But Will Franklin has the speed. He's an NFL caliber receiver for the Tigers, no doubt about that. One of the line judges hits the turf, but nonetheless makes a huge play here in the passing game. Chase Daniel can throw it down there with the best of them.
So 72 yards on the reception as Temple is going to line up in the backfield. Daniel called the play at the line. He's got trips, near side, bottom of the screen, wide side. Vashon High School. William Franklin, the big play. Daniel, wide side option. Looks for the pitch. It's Temple, an afterthought. And he only gets a couple. It almost looked like it was in slow motion.
Yeah, it kind of was. Chase Daniel coming down the line of scrimmage, thinking he needs to pitch that football. You know, Chase does a good job running it inside as well. He's made some good decisions with his feet as far as deciding whether to pitch the ball or run it. He decided to get the ball to Tony Temple, who's been back in the lineup now for the last couple of weeks, and good to have him back there for the Tigers. They've been running back by committee to run the football for Missouri.
Well, the thing about Chase Daniel, he's a cool customer. He is not going to grow impatient. As he comes up to the line, sees the defense, looks back for a call from his offensive staff. Still got 7 in the play clock. Red zone opportunities, very successful. Daniel, fade, corner of the end zone, and it's knocked away from the tight end. He wanted Coffman, punched away. And good coverage back there by Gardner McKay.
Yeah, McKay does a nice job just watching the eyes of the receiver. What he does is he does a good job of waiting until Chase Coffman puts his hands up. You see at the end of the play here at the bottom, there's going to be Coffman on the outside, and watch him go for the football. And then McKay, read the court of the guy and then throw your hands up in between his. Nice play by the defender. Take another look at it here, get his hands between it.
Bang,
his
bang
helmet hits it too. Good job.
It was real close. He had contact early.
And that's a matchup that Chase Daniel wanted. One-on-one, Chase Coffman in the red zone on the smaller defensive back.
3rd and goal. Daniel looking one way, goes the other. Rucker in. Touchdown, Missouri. Looked it off to the right, came back to the left. And Martin Rucker, a senior from St. Joe, a point away from tying it up.
Yeah, so many weapons for the Missouri Tigers. Just get it out to Rucker, throw it down to Will Franklin, try to get to Chase Coffman. All these guys make plays after plays for this Missouri football team, and Chase Daniel, all he does is distribute the football. Well done, well executed here. Stop and start, come back inside on a little screen play, and has just enough to get in the end zone. So Missouri answers right back after the turnover.
Wolford for the point after. And 3 minutes in, we've already got 14 on the board. Got a feeling it may be that kind of night at Folsom and Boulder. Tigers bounce right back. It's all even at 7. And an asterisk next to it. There's play number 1, snap number 1. Play number 2, this is Colorado, Missouri, 1990, September 30th, Faurot Field. Play number 3, they stop him there. How about a spike on 4th down? Okay, Missouri wins. No, they don't. 5th down, Charles Jackson. Does he ever get in? Missouri didn't think so. Linesman comes in and gives it to him. 33-31. It still bothers the Mizzou fan.
Yeah, it was a lot. The sideline marker was wrong. It was 3rd down. It was actually 4th down. It was marked 3rd, and the officials didn't know what had happened. Actually, it was referee J.C. Louderbank and the Big 8 officiating crew. They talked about it for 20 minutes after the game, Joel, and she got word from the press box that guess what, guys? There was actually a 5th down play on that drive.
Wheatley over to the near side. Ellis over to the far side. As Wolford gets into it, and a good one as Wheatley's going to bring it out about 3 yards into the end zone. Across the 20. Pounced on there and short of the 25 at about the 24. Time now for a Dr. Pepper game break. Let's check in with Mike Goldberg. Mike?
Well, Joel and Gary, for the first time since 1963, when the quarterback was named Roger Staubach, Navy has beaten Notre Dame. It took 3 overtimes. The midshipmen keep Notre Dame out of the end zone, trying to convert the 2-point conversion. That was necessary in that 3rd overtime. Notre Dame's 43-game win streak against Navy comes to conclusion. Things have gone from bad to worse for Charlie White.
Thanks, Mike. At Notre Dame, no less. You know what that bothers the most, though? UCLA fans.
It really does. Now, I kind of feel for Charlie Weiss. He was on our staff in New York with the Giants for a number of years, and so I know the guy, he is hurting inside. He cannot get his team going the right direction.
Hugh Charles lines up in the backfield. Hot running back. Bouncing around maybe a yard from the 24 to the 25. And that is it. And an opportunity now for the Liberty Mutual starting lineup offensively for Cody Hawkins, throwing a touchdown pass in 9 consecutive games. That is a Colorado record, not just a freshman record, the redshirt freshman. Scotty McKnight, you like that walk-on, don't you?
I like that guy. He's making plays for his football team.
And they've got some youngsters. Mayama, the left guard, a true freshman, and Ryan Miller. So they've got 2 true freshmen starting on the offensive line for the Colorado Buffaloes. And Miller's a huge one at 6'7", 320. It'll be 2nd and 9. Hawkins, pocket protection's good. And on the quick square out, it's complete. A first down for Patrick Williams. Now, the Missouri defense has been suspect against the pass. They lose their leader, Tig Brown at safety. Justin Garrett, their nickelback, now starts at strong safety. They give up 23 points a game. This is going to be interesting to see if they can slow down the passing attack of Colorado.
Well, Colorado's going to throw the football, but Joel, they're going to want to be balanced. They definitely want to run the football. Look for Hugh Charles and company to run the football. They've got Byron Ellis in the game as well today. So I think that Colorado needs a blended style of offense.
Gain of 19 for a first down up to the 46. On the play fake, Hawkins, long throw to Sprague, out on the edge, good play. Out on an island on that far side, Carl Geddes makes the stop.
Yeah, importantly for this football game, Colorado, what they need to do to win this football game, Joe, is got to do some things very, very basic on offense. They've got to be able to maintain the football. On defense, they've got to get Missouri off schedule. Don't let them fast start. You saw what they've done early and stay balanced offensively. And be careful in the kick coverage because Jeremy Maclin can take over the football game in that area. So those are some things that Colorado needs to worry about here in this football game. But most importantly on offense, they need to have a blended style here. Don't put all the pressure on a young redshirt freshman quarterback in Cody Hawkins.
Now the Missouri pass defense has given up some yardage this year. We've already seen that early. In fact, they give up overall as a unit 23 points a game. Direct snap. Hugh Charles trying to get outside. And there's a hold, and it was an easy call. Mayama holding Lorenzo Williams, who had scored last week. He tackled him. That was a sumo move.
No, good tackle, good takedown. But he's the wrong side of the ball. He needed a block.
51 on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Lorenzo, the umpire, threw the flag. He looked back at John Bible, the referee, wondering why he didn't throw the flag.
Well, here's Maeva right here, and he's going to come right down the line of scrimmage and go out to the outside and make a tackle there. And bingo, right there. He got inside there. Lorenzo, whoop, going to take him down. It's easy enough.
An arm drag and a toss.
Got a good dude, too, working. Look at that. You know, he actually had a penalty called in the game a couple weeks back. Someone pulled his hair, and that's a penalty against the defense. Doesn't bother him at all. We can't read his name on the back of his jersey, but good stuff. Now, here's a third down opportunities here for Colorado. Both of them now, you take a look at Missouri. They're #1 in the nation. Colorado, very lackluster. They're only 11th in the Big 12 Conference.
This is a 2nd and long. Replay the down. He comes from behind. Hawkins felt it. Got away. Room to roam. Outside and then head hunting. The safety came up. William Moore. And he got him high on the counter.
John Stoll, the defensive end from the backside, put the pressure on the quarterback and almost knocked it out on his rush and brought it down and brings up a third down here. Opportunity on the backside. Watch the left side of your screen. You're going to see Stoll on the 93. Tip it, almost get the ball out, and Cody Hawkins pulls it down to get something, make a positive play out of here instead of a negative. And third downs are okay. You need to live to play another down, and Cody Hawkins 3rd and 7 here.
Dell Howard comes into Nichols, and the strong side backer, Van Alexander, goes out. So now it's a 4-2-5. Hawkins hasn't missed. He's 3 of 3 for 36 yards. Out of the gun now. And a flag comes up and a false start on the left side of the offensive line. They call it. Tight end Joe Sanders on the left side.
Yeah, those are self-destruct type penalties, and Dan Hawkins obviously not happy about that. You got a manageable situation here with 3rd and 7. Now you're 3rd and 12. So a little different situation here. What does Mark Helfrich, the offensive coordinator, call in this situation? Going to have to get the ball down the field a little bit more than that 3rd and medium kind of a call.
Colorado and Dan Hawkins pleasantly surprised this year. 5 and 4, 2 and 10 last year. Bowl eligible with a win, and who would have believed that after 9 games? Now, on 3rd and long, Hawkins with pressure and throws it wide with a little hook on the outside. He was going with the wide receiver, Cordy Crawford, on that side. Bridges with the coverage.
Well, Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, says, hey, we're going to put pressure on this young quarterback. You take a look inside, Sean Weatherspoon, the linebacker, the weak side linebacker, blitzes from the inside and hits Cody Hawkins right square in the chin and knocked him on the turf and had to throw the ball off timing. So good job by the Missouri defense coming out there and playing a good series of downs.
Matt DeLallo, the sophomore from Wellington, Florida, is going to punt it, and will he punt it away like everybody else has, with Jeremy Macklin waiting back, and a guy who averages 14 yards a punt return. Down the middle, good hang time. Macklin is popped as soon as he took it in, and it was too early.
Yeah, 1 yard rule. You've got to be outside of that, and Jeremy Macklin caught the football, but one of the Buffaloes was inside that 1 yard area before the ball arrived, and they're going to call it on Brown.
So Jaleel Brown tried to time it perfectly.
Interference for the opportunity to catch the kick. 23 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Kick catch interference here. He gets inside the 1 yard area right there. Almost simultaneously, Brown is there as Macklin catches his football. Luckily, he didn't knock it out, but going to be a penalty going to go against Colorado.
Good field position for the Tigers. Who's moving out? Who's moving on towards a berth in a BCS bowl game? The official BCS ratings show tomorrow 10:30 only on FSN. Joel Myers, Gary Reasons, Jim Knox back at Folsom. Daniel out of the gun. And widely intended target, Macklin off his fingertips. Working against Walters, the free safety. Let's go to Mike Goldberg once again for a Dr. Pepper game break. Mike?
Well, Joel, the big one in the Pac-10 in Eugene, Oregon. Number 4, Arizona State. Number 5, Oregon. The Ducks strike on their opening possession. Dennis Dixon to Jason Williams. Arizona State is answered with a field goal. 7-3 early. Dennis Dixon looking very good and electric already.
Yeah, what a matchup that is. And a beautiful day, as we could tell, in Eugene, so a break. Goldsmith hands it off on the reverse to Macklin. He gets a block from Coffman. Downfield he goes with Daniel helping out. And he's got a first down. Coffman the first block. How about Chase Daniel mixing it up, trying to lead the way?
Yeah, you have your quarterback out there as well. This is kind of a double reverse type of an action here. You see Chase Daniel hand it off inside, then around to Jeremy Macklin. Watch the blocking outside here. There's Coffman there to get the block, and also inside your quarterback, Chase Daniel gets some action there. So they'll get the ball in the hands of Jeremy Macklin a lot of different ways. Leads the nation in all-purpose yardage and get the ball to him in the run game as well.
Teddy Temple. They've got 2 rushes so far. No gain on the ground in those 2 carries for Mizzou. On a first down, option wide side, put it back instead. Temple on the dump off, drops it. And it was available. It'll be 2nd and 10. So Missouri's got their longest play of the season early in this game, the 72-yarder.
Yeah, Will Franklin goes down the sideline. He just beats the defender. Got enough speed to get behind Wheatley. And good job by the Missouri offense. And then he turned around, put it in the end zone. Martin Rucker gets the touchdown here. So they answered after the early turnover for the offense. And now it's tied this ball game back up.
Both tight ends line up like wide receivers. One the slot, Coffman on the low side of the screen. The numbers on Daniel out of the numbers 15 and 6. That's his starting record. He wants to go over the middle, and it could almost be intercepted. Rucker had to go right through his hands, so too many drops early and deflections by the Tiger wide receivers, the tight end that time, as we head down to Noxie. Jim?
All right, Joel, I'll tell you what, Jordan Dyson, you talking about a tough linebacker, was supposed to wear this shield during tonight's game because he scratched his cornea during last week's game against Texas Tech, but took the shield off because too much of a glare, he said. So right now, playing with a bad eye with no protection, guys.
All right, Noxie.
Man, don't tell his optometrist.
I've already seen him. I've been here twice for his games. I know how good he can be. Now on 3rd and 10. Daniel deep over the middle and behind the intended target. And what a pop they put. The young man running downfield from Missouri Derek Washington, the tailback. That was his first snap of the game, the true freshman. Yeah, he took it in the small of the back, didn't he?
Yeah, just throwing the ball outside down the middle of the field of Washington. Kind of a dangerous pass by the quarterback here. Jordan Dyes on the defense, but he's going to play all over the field. Watch him run to the back of the end zone here, just running out of the middle of the field and trying to get in the way of the football. And that's what Jordan Dyes does. He gets all over the place, Joel, and makes plays.
Cross it's punted away, and they almost get to it. Going to be Chase McBride, who had the big return against Oklahoma, and a very short kick by Crossett. Too short for Missouri, as it's, well, an exchange where Colorado's going to get it at the 30. Just a 29-yard punt from one of the better punters in the Big 12.
Yeah, I talked about this, one of the keys here for Colorado, and that's getting Missouri off schedule, and that's kind of what they needed to do, and they did a good job that time of not allowing Chase Daniel on the offense to kind of spread the ball around like you'd like to do and manage the game. So far, chalk went up to Missouri, for the Colorado defense there with a good defensive stand.
You know, last week Colorado had 2 long drives. They set it up that Texas Tech had to play catch-up. They had 91 and 70-yard drives. Right now they're even with Missouri. They've got solid field position to the 30-yard line. Play fake on Charles. And downfield, Scotty McNutt was there, and it's just a little bit too tall for the former walk-on because eventually he's going to be a scholarship player.
And Cody Hawkins doesn't do a good job with this football this time. Just a poor throw. He's got the waggle pass. He's got a receiver open, McKnight, and just does not get the ball to him. Overthrow one, and you'd like to have that one back.
Well, we talked to Cody Hawkins about sitting back, watching everything develop as a redshirt freshman, and the experience for him last year.
Sitting back and watching the team, especially coming from a high school program where you play all the time and everybody expects you to be the guy, it's definitely tough to come sit on the sidelines, but I definitely know the redshirt year helped me a lot, and I'm a better quarterback now because of it.
Look out, there goes Hugh Charles, first down. Colorado's got it across the 40.
Cody Hawkins is smart enough to know what to do now because he watched a year and he knows that Hugh Charles is a big part of this offense, and when he can run the football like this and pick his holes, he's a dangerous runner, Joel. He can make plays with his feet, and watch the defenders. Are not an easy guy to find, not an easy guy to tackle either, and Hugh Charles, 5 of the last 6 games, rushed for over 100 yards in a ball game, and he's a big part of this offense. He needs to get on track here running the football.
121 yards last week. He needs 106 per game on average over the last 3 so he can pick up his first 1,000-yard season. And that would be nice to close it out. The senior from Keller. Direct snap, Charles again. This time they smell it. A good job by the linebacker for the Missouri Tigers. Van Alexander, the strong side backer. He slowed him down right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you take Cody Hawkins, you put him out as a wide receiver, and Hugh Charles just gets a direct snap from the quarterback. Those are things that Colorado does. Actually, Missouri does that also. You got Chase Daniel. These are similar style of offenses, but the execution level is a lot higher for Missouri with their offense and what they do. Dan Hawkins would like to have his team grow up and be able to do the things. You know, Chase Daniel, he kind of emulates, I think, Chase Daniel a little bit in how he approaches the game. He's a coach's son. He's a very smart quarterback.
On 2nd and 10, Ellis is the single. Blitz off the edge. They pick it up. It fired a little bit too high for Ellis off his hands. It'll be 3rd and 10, but he felt the heat coming from the backside. There's no question about that. And it was the blitz off the edge by free safety William Moore. Well, this first down marker, all brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order shipped. Just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Live better with Overstock.com. It is all about the O.
You know, most offenses, Joel, they need to execute on 1st and 2nd down because you get in 3rd and long situations, you're going to have your opportunities are a lot fewer to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to convert as many. So Cody Hawkins now faced with a 3rd and 10.
Started 3 for 3, 36 yards. He's missed his last 3. He's had a couple of drops. Now is it going to be a straight 4-man rush? Left tackle picked up. That was Tyler Columbus. It'll be another 5-yard mark-off against the Buffaloes.
On the snap, ball start, 48 offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
They could have called on a half dozen. Crawford gets it, but Columbus was up 2.
Kind of a miscue there. Now 3rd and 15 here for Colorado. And
well, you talk about throwing them off schedule. That's definitely off schedule.
No, definitely
because they're not a 3rd and long team.
No, they really aren't. They're not a team that's going to throw the ball consistently down the field. This is a very manageable type of offense. It's not one of those down-the-field type offenses. They'll spread the ball out like Missouri does, but now at 3rd and 15, these are hard to convert.
Empty backfield 5 set up at the wide receiver. Blitz coming. And little out. Complete and look out. Nifty moves by Williams. He's going to be well short of the 1st down. Got about 6, though, before he's dropped by Evander Hood coming back on the play.
Yeah, but when you you go back inside, guess what? That's where all the white shirts are. That's where the passion's get. All the defense is going to come from the inside out. And Williams trying to make a play here. Couldn't get anything going because of each defensive white shirts there for the Tigers on the stop.
Quick snap, Delano. A wobbler. Man, Macklin is going to stay away from it. Sideways it goes. It'll die at around the 16 of Mizzou. So a couple of early strikes. Missouri turnover. Colorado at 11-yard field. That's short enough, and they took advantage of it. Got the first 7, and Missouri answered with a long drive, but a big play of 72 yards. And that's how we're all even at 7 with 6:09 left in the first 15. Well, this week on Sports Science, from high heat to low blows, one of the most dangerous cheap shots. We reveal the hidden damage behind the most reckless plays in sports. We put the science of crossing the line under the microscope. Sports Science examines cheap shots tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Only on FSN. Check your local listings for the start time in your area. Jimmy Jackson's taken over in the backfield. He's got a huge hold up in the middle. Weaving his way to a first down and breathing room now. Some field position for Missouri. He got a dozen out to the 28.
Yeah, kind of a zone read play that time. Jimmy Jackson starts outside Joel, then he works back into the backfield, and Jimmy Jackson's going to be the recipient of it here. And they do a good job of blocking inside. You see the blocking in there, the big hole that he runs through. The only guy in his way is the umpire. So good job by Missouri on first down, running the football.
He's a junior for Rutherford, Missouri. Daniel out of the gun on first down. Little comeback route. Coffman hands it off the flip. Macklin's got it down the sideline. How about that hook and ladder? Yeah. Nice play. I like it. A gadget early. It's out of bounds at the 48.
Well, Dave Christensen, the offensive coordinator, not afraid to do these gadget plays to his special play receiver, and that's Macklin. And Chase Coffman, one of the best hands on the team, catches the football. They know he's a good ball security guy, and when he catches the football, he can pitch this ball just like it's all written up to do. And Jeremy Macklin with a nice play after the pitch.
I like when coaches think a little out of the box.
Yeah.
That's fun. And Missouri is one of the more entertaining teams in the nation. Daniel, tied at 7. Looking one way on the cross. Dropped again. Went right through the hands into the body of his tight end. And you don't see that. Rucker has 2 drops already. Daniel has a ton of misses, and right now, Gary's 2 for 8. Going 3 or 4 but dropped.
Well read that time by Chase Daniel. A strike of a football. Goes through the hands, as you said, of this tight end. One of the top tight ends in the country, but the ball went right through his hands and off his shoulder pad.
It'll be 2nd and 10. We'll talk about Gary Pinkel in just a moment. Jimmy Jackson got a block. Jimmy Jackson for a first down and a lot more. Down the sideline to the 30 with a flag. There's going to be a hold on the block downfield. As Jackson, and they do have enough for the first down. The point of the infraction is at the 37. They'll bring it back from
Holding,
there.
81 on the offense. 10 yards, 2nd down.
That's the wide receiver they like a lot. Big play artist, Denario Alexander. That'll negate 31. A good sum of it.
It'll be 10 yards from the spot, which is about at the 37, 38-yard line. So take a look on the outside, and here's where the hold is going to be right up here. It's actually right there. Denario Alexander, number 81, is getting the hold there. And Dykes gets him down on the ground here, so it's going to bring up, actually gain a couple of yards here, but no loss of down.
Well, it should be at the 47, so that's an extra yard. That's an 11-yard mark off instead of 10. Because the point of the infraction was the 37. Derek Washington, speed guy. True freshman at 5'11", 200 pounds. One of the highly recruited ones by Mizzou's in the backfield. On 2nd down, Daniel has him in the flat, goes deep the other way, and off the fingertips of his wideout on that side, Tommy Saunders.
Yeah, Tommy Saunders kind of shut it down early, I thought, Joel, on this route, and kind of looking back in the backfield of the quarterback. Instead of running the route as he should have done, and Saunders was on the outside, and he just kind of slowed it down about the 30-yard line. If he just stretched it out a little bit more, I think might have been able to catch his football. I think it was well thrown by the quarterback, Chase Daniel, and should have been a catch.
Now, how many drops have they had? So Daniel now 3 of 9, but that doesn't tell the story, does it? Came into the game, hitting 70% of his passes. Mizzou 1 of 2 on 3rd downs. This is a 3rd and 6. Daniel with time. And another one. That was a tough one for Macklin, though. Right at the first down marker, high and wide fastball. McKay on the coverage.
Yeah, good job there by the defensive, matching up on the receivers. Only rushing 3 that time on Chase Daniel. Only the 3 defensive linemen and everyone else in coverage. So got to tighten up with the coverage, and they do that well here. It's going to bring up a 4th down and punting situation.
Well, let's see if Crossley can do better than 29 yards, like we saw in the first attempt.
Colorado had a great game plan last week against Texas Tech in that football game. Doing a good job against Missouri here early.
It'll be Chase McBride. And he had a huge return. I mentioned better than 30 yards to set up the game-winning field goal against Oklahoma. Then blocked. Colorado's got it. And getting in there for the Buffaloes, it was Alonzo Barrett. Took too long. Good job by Barrett.
Well, momentum plays are often made in the kick return game, and also when you block a kick. And I'll tell you, when Mr. Barrett comes up the middle of the field here, he does a good job. And there's Alonzo Barrett going to be right there. And he's going to rush straight up here and go right to the block spot and comes off the edge. Does a nice job of going to the point, puts his hands on the football, gets his right hand on it. Well executed there, does an inside charge, takes him up and goes underneath, the arm over. Well done by a blocker.
So Colorado's got a short field. First block punt against Crossett this year. And Colorado's got it at the Missouri 37. Hugh Charles finding some space up the middle. He went low, a little jitterbug to the left. And he's got 7 on first down to the 30. Stephen Blair dropped him.
I like what the crowd does here when Hugh Charles has the football. It's all Hugh, and they get into this football game because they know he's a big part of the offense, and he's running the ball well inside the tackles. You bring up 2nd and 3 now, so the offense has a chance to operate here. A lot easier for Mark Helfrich to call a play here with Cody Hawkins.
Charles in the backfield on 2nd and short. And they keep it on the ground. Is it going to be a direct snap? He's lined up there. Yes, it will be. Nothing available. In fact, he loses a yard. For the Tigers, it was Sean Weatherspoon.
A couple of times they've done that now, and now Missouri knows. Okay, they go to the shotgun here. They take the direct snap to the tailback, Hugh Charles, bring the quarterback out to the sideline, and John Witherspoon has done a great job with it for the defense. Just a sophomore, he's going to be one of the better linebackers in the conference before his career is over. Great athlete over there. He's got 4.4 speed, Joel. This guy makes plays for Big Gary Pinkel's defense.
Can his team win on the first Saturday in November? It's been a jinx for them under Gary Pinkel. And they move to the next level, the elite group in the Big 12. On 3rd down, moving the pocket, Sprague's there. Hawkins found him. First down inside the 15. He's got it inside the 13. Huge conversion.
Well, Dusty Sprague has one of the best set of hands on the team for the Colorado Buffaloes, and he's going to be inside and go up the field. Watch him go out to the corner now. He's got the defender back there at zone coverage. He's just shutting the route down. Good job by Sprague of going up for the football. A nice strike here by the quarterback. Now the ball's inside the 15-yard line for the Buffaloes.
Well, Missouri's pass defense, 107th in the nation out of 119 teams. You can say a lot of teams have to play catch-up, so they put the ball up a lot, and there's yards in the passing department against Missouri. But 107 is a little extreme. Going to be a first down inside the 13. Charles fouled up, makes a miss in the backfield. Still dropped for a couple of yards. And Williams, who scored last week, he's all over it early, isn't he?
Yeah, Lorenzo Williams breaks through the offensive line there. Does a good job from the defensive tackle spot. When you've got defensive tackles that can play like this, you'll be able to make plays. And here's the setup with the play. Why the reason is down here is you got the block punt situation here by Barrett. And now the Buffaloes are knocking on the door here with a chance to put points on the board.
We're looking at 2nd and a dozen back at the 15. So another short field for the second time of the first 4 possessions for Colorado. Power back Byron Ellis, who has the touchdown, is in there. Out on the edge, it's deflected. And right at the line of scrimmage for Missouri, it was Strider Shulon, the junior from Rockdale, Texas.
He's been an impact player for the defense for the Tigers. 5 sacks on the season, now making a play with his hands, getting the hands up in the air, and kind of what you have to do with a quick throw offense. You get your hands up as a defensive lineman, knock balls down. Cody Hawkins not the tallest guy in the world either, Joel, so he kind of throws kind of a 3-quarter ball out there. And I think a lot of coaches, when they coach the defense against the Buffalo, saying, hey, guys, we can knock some balls down because this quarterback is not very tall of stature.
That's a real good point you bring up, Gary, because they try to move him and change his launch point because of that. Now time with the pocket holding up. And it's going to the tile of the wide receiver. It's complete to the 10. He won't get the first down, though. As taking it in on that side of the field, National Westerbrod, their touchdown specialist, who tied it. And a gain of about 7.
Now Tyson DeBrayne on 84 comes out to the flat here on the near side of the field and does a little good job with his feet now. Going to bring up a 4th and 5, and the Colorado fans are trying to get Dan Hawkins to go for it here. I think the smart play is put points on the board. You need to kick a field goal here in this situation. Too hard to manage 4th and 5 here. You're playing at home, though. You may make a kind of a risky call.
Well, they've gone for it on 4th down more than any other team in the nation. 23 times.
10 seconds left on the play clock. Cody Hawkins has to hurry to get the line of scrimmage to get this one going.
But will they go? Or will they just try to get Mizzou offside on 4th and 4? And it will be a timeout called.
Now, I'm really surprised here Dan Hawkins is trying to go for this on 4th down. You need to put points on the board at home and take the opportunity here to get some momentum back for your football team. If you're not getting points in the situation, Joel, I think it's problematic for you. You think you got something going there with a block punt. You put some points on the board. You come away empty here. I think it's a huge momentum swing back to Missouri.
Yeah, they got a break though. It was Missouri who called the timeouts. You know, it was incredible what happened earlier today as Kansas State a step backwards after they'd shown improvement. They lose at Iowa State. Other games were on the Big 12 today. Kansas 11 touchdowns. That is the most since the Big 12 started back in 1996. 11 touchdowns for the Jayhawks. Texas Tech no shot there. Now Oklahoma State had a commanding lead into the 4th. How about a 24-0 4th quarter for Colt McCoy as Bailey hit a 40-yard field goal with no time left on the clock to win it for the Longhorns.
I'll say that's a huge comeback in Stillwater as well. Oklahoma State had that game in hand and gave it away in the 4th quarter. Good job by the Longhorns coming back in that one for sure.
And Colorado 11 of 23 for Hawkins, 48%. So they've got a lot of experience on 4th down, don't they? And now they're going to go for the field goal with Everhart.
I think this is a smart call.
I agree with you.
You need to put points on the board.
It'll be a 24-yard attempt. He's 13 of 20. Somewhat of a erratic place kicker this year as he belts it and gets it from right to left. Kevin Everhart had to wait for Mason Crosby to depart, 5th-year senior. And the Buffaloes points off another turnover. Lead the Tigers by 3. No. It shuts down across the 23 of the 24. Mike Goldberg, Dr. Pepper game break. What's the latest, Mike?
Well, Joe, a little bit of good news for Missouri and other teams trying to make it to the top of the BCS standings. Nick Saban and number 17 Alabama leading number 3 LSU early 3rd quarter. That's John Parker Wilson to Keith Brown. The score is 20-17. Saban playing against his former team, coaching, of course, for the first time.
So Alabama, thank you, Mike. Up by 3. This year's been upside down anyway. Come on. Kansas, Missouri, 2 top 10 teams. Temple outside. Can't get away from the end on that side. It was Maurice Lucas. There is a flag down on the play.
Maurice Lucas, the defensive end, does a good job. Shows he's got pretty good ability with his speed on the outside on a speedy tailback.
Well, John Bible discussing the penalty situation.
I wonder if there was a face mask possibly at the end here. It looked like Maurice Lucas put his hand up near the headgear, but I'm not sure if they're going to call a face mask on this or not.
And will it, if they do, is it going to be 5 or
There's
15?
no foul on the play. No flag on the play.
Yeah, no foul on because the referee who's back on the backside, he's behind the play and he can see better. And watch the left hand of Maurice Lucas go up around the face mask. Doesn't get there. It's the back of the helmet or the left hand. Doesn't grab him. Actually grabs the shoulder pad there. So I think it's a good non-call here, but a great defensive play by Lucas as well. Defensive end sliding out on a fast tailback.
A tiny tailback for this Temple at 5'9" means he's probably 5'7", 5'8". It's a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 Missouri. Taken to Macklin. Looking down the middle of the field, goes the other way. Macklin can't make a miss. Good play in the open field. Coming up, Benjamin Burney.
Well, Joel, that play would work a lot better if it was man coverage, but for the defense here for Colorado, they were in a zone coverage there. So Burney's at home. He's just playing the cornerback spot on the near sideline, and does a good job of just staying at home and making a play on Macklin, who they bring the ball around. They fake it to him first and then throw it to him over the top.
But now Missouri facing another 3rd and long. Right now, 1 of 3 on their 3rd down tries. They've not had the football much. We're in the final minute of the opening 15 minutes of play. Daniel needs 11. In trouble for the footwork of Chase Daniel. And it might have been out of bounds had Franklin caught it anyway. Still incomplete, and Colorado holds.
Well, Jeff Smart was tracking down on the sideline. Colorado has done a good job, I think, early in this ball game of shutting down this high-octane Missouri offense. Chase Daniel not being very efficient with the football. Credit the defensive secondary for the Colorado Buffaloes are being tight in coverage, not allowing Chase Coffman to get on stride there. They're definitely knocking him off rhythm. I thought about that being one of the keys in this game. They're doing a good job defensively early on.
Now, pressure on Crossett. And a much better one, hang time-wise. McBride gets caught. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. So not a lot going right for Missouri. Making mistakes. Tremaine Vaughns, the defensive back, had his head down. Didn't locate the ball at all.
Yeah, kick-catch interference.
Kick-catch interference. Number 11 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, easy call there to make there. Just knocks him down. Doesn't even have a chance to get the football. And try to hold off there, Vance does, but unable to do so.
And how bad has it been for Mizzou with the mistakes? Mizzou just went 3 and out with a punt for only the 12th time this year. And 5 of those 12 came in the opening game against Illinois, where they were just trying to find themselves offensively.
Yeah.
They have been that consistent offensively, but what a stuttering start here.
Yeah, and a team that leads the nation in third downs, Joel, being able to complete those. 59% coming into this football game. Nothing like that today for Gary Pinkel's offense.
And for the 3rd time over the first 5 series, 5 possessions already for Colorado. 3rd time they've got it in plus territory. Starting on Missouri side of the 50, this time to the 47. Keep the tight end in the eye in front of Charles. Want to throw at Hawkins. Single coverage, puts it up for grabs and knocked away. Last second and a good play on that side of the field by the Tigers, Darnell Terrell.
Yeah, good job of recovery that time because he had a receiver out there, and if the receiver were to come back for the football, might have had a chance. Josh Smith out there with him. So Darnell Terrell on the top of the screen here. Watch him on the left side of your screen. Going to make a nice play with his left hand coming back here as he turns around. Ball a little bit underthrown there.
Hawkins, 6'11", 67 yards. Now does he stay through the air or use Charles? Do Charles so far, 6 carries, 18 yards. Missouri trying to contain him in another one where he basically got 3-4 yards. And if you can hold Hugh Charles for 3 or 4 for the game, you're in good shape.
Yeah, when you give Hugh Charles the football, you see what he does with it. He's got 3 or 4 holes that he can pick his way to go through and just lets his offensive line block. And he finds a way to get through there, gets positive yardage in a 3rd down and 7 situation. They're probably going to come to the end of the quarter, but this offense has done a pretty decent job moving the ball against the Tiger defense.
A very opportunistic start for the Buffaloes. All 10 points off Missouri turn.
Side there, Lorenzo Williams making a play, most opportunity play there. You get that football. Watch the top of your screen here on the right side. Number 48 going to strip that ball out as he's throwing it. Ball comes out backwards, and that's a good call by the officials of allowing that to be a fumble. This is probably going to be reviewed upstairs just to be sure of this thing, but Cody Hawkins trying to throw the ball. His hand never came forward. I think the ball was knocked out before that, so I think it's going to go to the way of Missouri.
Yeah, I think that first look was even more definitive behind the play with his hand all the way. There you see his hand all the way back and the tip of the ball with Chavis.
Yeah, Tommy Chavis making the ball, actually hitting the football there behind him and never got his hand going forward.
Chavis, a junior from Orange, Texas. Now, does Missouri take over on a turnover and pick up a short field on Colorado? That has not been the case so far. It's the story now, 9 seconds into the 2nd quarter.
And you see the father talking to the son, the head coach of the quarterback. It's all it is with these guys here. Cody Hawkins, a young redshirt freshman quarterback, and schooling by his father on the sideline.
Well, they picked up the blitz off the edge, but it
After
also...
review, the play stands as called on the field.
We looked at it. Yeah. But they couldn't account for Chavis, who beat his man on single coverage.
We'll take another look at it here. You're going to see the good job here by Chavis coming on the backside. Knock the football out here. So Missouri's going to get great field position out the 48-yard line to get back on the field with Chase Daniel and company.
1st and 10 Missouri outside of the 47, trailing by 3. Opening minute of the 2nd. Temple, nothing doing. Did a good job to get back to the line of scrimmage. Met there by Wheatley out of the corner.
Terrence Wheatley just staying at home, playing his cornerback spot here, not being fooled by the misdirection in the backfield, and taking care of Tony Temple. No gain there on that play.
So Missouri has not been able to run the football at all. Jimmy Jackson has been successful twice, but besides that, not much else. Daniel on the gun. Spreads the defense underneath Macklin. Can't make a miss. And he's out of bounds at about the 46. So he's short of the 1st down by 4. And another key 3rd down for Missouri. Well, Pig Brown, not available. Already twice this year, the Defensive Player of the Week of the Big 12. Now, Gary Pinkel used to have a rule that if you're injured, you don't travel. Well, with Pig Brown, his career's over. So all of a sudden, change of rules. Pig Brown's on the bench because he's like a coach.
Well, he's like a momentum guy out there. They want him to have his charisma out there. He's a guy that this team has really rallied around. He's been a big play guy for that defense, an all-American style of play, and it's a guy they're sorely missing out there. And having to step up is Justin Garrett when the defense gets back out there.
Daniel goes for the bundle. Macklin's there. 5, touchdown. Jaleel Brown beaten Macklin to the long score. So Will Franklin the first time, Jeremy Macklin this time, and Missouri has the lead for the first time.
Well, the thing about the Tigers offensively is they've got so many weapons, and those weapons are being used by Chase Coffman. You just get Jeremy Macklin running down the middle of the field. He runs right by the defense, no doubt about that, and he's got speed to make it happen. So nice strike by the offense there by Missouri on the turnover, putting points on the board.
So Missouri gave up 10 off an interception and a block punt. Now they bounce back with 7 of their own off the mistake by the Buffaloes. Wolford for the point after, and a 4-point advantage for the 9th-ranked team of the nation. They wanted more touches. That's what the coaches told us earlier in the week. They've got to find a way to get Macklin involved because they're punting and kicking away from the young man. Well, he's had plenty of touches already. Made the most of that one. 46-yard touchdown, and the Tigers have the lead. Pioneers of Kirkwood, a St. Louis suburb. Second season of Mizzou. Injured right before the start of the fall camp last year. Had to sit back and watch. And as Gary Pinkel told us, it really paid dividends because he took it all in. He's got the potential. They say he's got the speed of Melgrave, maybe even a little bit more wiggle out there than Melgrave. He's been that good already for Jeremy Macklin. Wheatley and Ellis waiting back deep. Wheatley down the middle. So Wolford to take it away. He just resumed those duties. He had a hip flexor, so he missed the last game and a half from kicking it away. It's going to be Wheatley. They pick him over to the far side. And out of the end zone, spins through a tackler. Good return. Out past the 30, up to the 31, and brought down by Tremaine Vaughn.
Now, we talked about Jeremy Macklin put the ball in his hands. He does it a lot of ways, Joel. Kick return game, he makes plays with his feet. He can catch the ball as well, but put the ball in his hands in the run game, and this guy makes plays. He's a total all-purpose yardage receiver, taking the hook and ladder here from Chase Coffman. And then he gets a big play here down the middle of the field. With his speed, he's behind the defense, and they've got a big play guy in Jeremy Macklin. They're using him to his full potential.
That's my play of the day, and maybe the year. A hook and ladder in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, you usually save gadgets late because you're down. I like it early.
Not Dave Christensen of the Tigers.
We congratulate that offensive coordinator. Direct snap, few charge, big blocks over to the left side. He's got room, slows it down though. Boy, it looked like it was going to be a solid play for 10 to 15. They get about 4.5. Let's head over to Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, thank you, Joel. Here he is. It's Coach Brown now. Big Brown, who hurt his Achilles tendon in last week's game, now on the sidelines cheering his team on. This has to be very difficult for you.
It's very difficult, but, you know, at the same time, I'm thankful for it. I'm glad that I was able to travel, come down here and help cheer my teammates on.
Now, Dale Howard, who took over your spot, said he looks to you for inspiration and also guidance. What are you telling him?
You know, I'm just telling him to go out there and just have fun. You know, don't let this whole thing stress you out. Just go out there and take it one play at a time. And like I said, just have fun.
I think we'll let you get back to coaching. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Hawkins and Charles fall down. They ran a little action in the backfield trying to deceive Missouri with a reverse.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
Didn't work at all. And with Pig Brown out, Justin Garrett's going to play the safety position back there for him, and he's done a pretty decent job today. And he started a couple of games for the Tigers earlier in the season as a nickel back, and now getting a chance to start as a safety. So he's going to have to step it up there, but that's a lot of play capability that Pig Brown may lose with his ability out there. He's had a 100-yard touchdown fumble recovery on the season, big plays and interceptions, and I'll tell you that Justin Garrett can make any kind of plays like that. It's going to be a nice answer for the defense.
2 of 5 of the third down tries. Missouri making adjustments in their front 4. This is going to be a third and about 7. And wide Sprague, it falls incomplete. The long throw from the near side hash to the far side boundary. That's not easy for anybody, and it's tough for Cody Hawkins.
Yeah, and he kind of jump-stepped into it, too. Cody Hawkins, you know, not really necessarily the strongest arm out here on this football field, but he's an accurate passer. Just has that one fall a little bit short, and nothing happening here for Colorado defensively. Good job by the Tigers.
Delala will punt it away. Now, will Macklin touch it, or will they keep it away from him? Punt it out of bounds like we've seen in recent weeks in the Big 12. it down the middle. Or to get a block, though. Macklin, yeah, he gets a block. His own man puts him down.
Patrick Williams runs right into it.
Unbelievable. Now it's Jason Ray.
Jason Ray, other team.
So it's been that kind of start for Missouri, yet they still lead 14-10. The Dr. Pepper Big 12 football game of the week on FSN, presented by Dr. Pepper. Your local Dr. Pepper bottler, brought to you in part by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. By Sonic, it's not good, it's Sonic good. And the first down marker brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships for just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Live better with Overstock.com. It is all about the O. Well, it's the first Saturday in November, and Missouri has a lead. So that's a story in itself. 12:57 to play in the first half. Tony Temple's in the backfield. They've never had a win in the first Saturday of November under their current head coach. This is 7th season, but it appears to be a breakthrough season. Chase Daniel, Tony Temple. Pull the guard, throws it away. He's out of the pocket. Smart play by Chase Daniel.
Yeah, Jordan Dizon on the hunt there. That time the linebacker coming up on Chase Daniel, and Dizon trying to make something happen with his defense there for the Buffaloes. Talked about keeping this offense from Missouri off stride, and you take a look at Jordan Dizon, and he's going to be at this part right here, and he's going to just come to the quarterback when he rolls out to the outside. Jordan Dizon, the weak side linebacker, and he's just going to go right behind Harrison there and make him throw it off timing.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Temple brought down quickly after a gain of only a couple. Well, I mentioned November and Missouri and Gary Pinkel. And the games we all remember during the course of a long season, well, they're the ones that are won in the final month of the regular season. It's time that Missouri stepped up in the final month of the regular season under Gary Pinkel. They're just 7-14 in the final month under their current head coach. It's got to change for this program to move to the next level under this current staff. They've got A&M, K-State, Kansas on the rise to close out the season. So they have to take care of it today, because it's only become more difficult for them. After Colorado, ton of time for Daniel. Macklin, first down. The D-back, McKay, fell down. I think Macklin had something to do with it, but it's a first down just the same at the 49.
Yeah, I think actually Missouri had something got away with something here, because they had two players moving at the same time. You got a tailback coming out of the pocket and the quarterback moving as well, but wasn't called by the officials, and the ball thrown outside by Chase Daniel to Jeremy Macklin, who's been a lot of plays. And take a look at the quarterback. He's moving backwards, and you have your running back coming out of the backfield. They're moving at the same time, and that should be a penalty, and it's not called.
We're in the north, though. We're not that far from the Canadian border. Daniel, good footwork again. Cool customer, isn't he? Throws it away, gets another down. It was only 1st and 10. So the heat is on him once again. It comes from Brad Jones that time.
Well, Brad Jones gets back to the quarterback. Not a lot of pressure in this ball game on the quarterback, but when you break through and you make a play here, kind of throws them off schedule, which is what you need to do with Missouri, because they like to throw the ball on timing. They've got 4 or 5 players out in the pattern all the time, and I think Colorado's doing a really good job again this week defensively. Ron Collins putting a game plan together great last week against Texas Tech, and also again this week against the Tigers.
Yeah, but you're a former backer. Doesn't that frustrate you? It can wear you out. You keep running. You don't get the guy. You really get upset. And now Daniel's got the bundle, and he's got Macklin again. First and goal inside the 10, all the way down to the 6.
Now that's Jared Perry on the outside, who makes a good grab for it.
Well, it is 8. It's 9-9 all crinkled up over there. The sophomore from Lamarck, Texas.
He just runs down the field on the outside. Jared Perry gets behind the cornerback, and Chase Daniel finding an open receiver, throws it out there to him, and it's a quick strike offense. We saw the play early in the ball game. Will Franklin catching a long pass, and here's another one down the outside to Perry.
That is Perry's first grab of the game. First and goal from the 6. Third pass, better than 45 yards for Daniel. So the percentages aren't there, but he's certainly got the passing yards. From the 6, empty. Quarterback draw, nothing doing. And a good read up the middle. They stayed at home, and especially Jones once again.
Now Brad Jones coming inside there, number 4 to the linebacker. Just watch him come up the field and get underneath the tackle's block there, and goes right to the quarterback and gets him before he can stop it, get anything going. The pressure on the outside also by Maurice Lucas, winning the edge.
Yeah, he wanted to go up the middle, though, as you mentioned. Jones took that away. It's a loss. A little more than 2, almost 3. Second and goal. Washington enters the game as the running back, and he'll get it. Will he throw it? He looks over to the backside. He's knocked out of bounds. I think he wanted to throw the football. He's knocked out for a big loss back to the 16, but I think it was an option.
Definitely was an option pass here for him. Good coverage in the secondary by the Buffaloes. They had two players in the back corner of the end zone trying to get the ball to Will Franklin. You take him going to the corner of the end zone back here. You hold it right there. You see the coverage back there by the defenders. You got one and two players on that. Good job by the Colorado defense of defending this play and not allowing a halfback pass.
Well, the ineffective Missouri ground game has hurt him down here near the goal line. 10 carries for just 35 yards after that loss. Daniel looking, dumping. It won't get to the end zone, will it? No. On the completion, well short to Earl Goldsmith, the running back, brought down by Chappelle Brown.
Well, you got the big long pass play, but you come away empty. Not empty always, but you're going to get 3-point opportunity here for Chase Daniel. And smarter to do this than actually throw it into coverage and make something poor happen. Chase Daniel knows that he'd like to get the ball in the end zone and get a touchdown. He's used to doing that a lot with this football team, but this Colorado defense, Joel, except for the big plays in the passing game, the one to Will Franklin and also to Perry, has done pretty well against this Missouri offense.
It's going to be a 28-yard attempt for Wolford on its way, and that is 19 consecutive makes in conference play for Jeff Wolford. So the Tigers by 7. 5 minutes gone by in this second. We'll go back after this word from you. Dr. Pepper Bottler. Kansas, the team you're going to be talking about with DeMarco at the break. Kansas, one of the great stories in all of college football, not just the Big 12 at 9-0. Wolford kicks it away. Wheatley waits, and on the far side will get it at the 1. Angling back. Will he be able to turn the corner? Running on a racing run and bounced out. Just outside the 20, near the 21. The time now for a Suzuki Honor Roll. And today it focuses on a young lady right here on the volleyball team at Colorado. Alex Booth, Good Works team. And she has spent time, like the rest of the Good Works team, spent time out in the community here in Boulder. So congratulations, Alex Booth and the rest of the Good Works team. Cole McCoy will represent the Longhorns down in Texas.
They look good work in the fourth quarter against Oklahoma State today, no doubt about that.
What about this atmosphere? Are we lucky get to come to places like Folsom Field? Great setting, great fans, student body. On the reverse, good move out to the 20, close to the 25. Josh Smith Paizo, and so does the D-back at the end of the play. And it was actually Van Alexander, the strong pad backer, with Garrett. So it's going to be the second down at about 6. First down marker tonight brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% on brand name products. Live better with Overstock.com. It is all about the O.
Van Alexander on that tackle actually goes off the field. Looks like he might have dinged his shoulder. We'll have Jim Knox check on him, but the linebacker out of the ball game.
Now on 2nd and 6, Charles trying to make a miss. Brought down shy of the first down by about 1.5 yards. Jason Corbett over there. Well, Missouri on their last 2 possessions, 10 points. One was set up on a turnover. Well, there's a red zone failure, though.
Kind of a red zone failure, just putting 3 points on the board. But, you know, the offense is explosive. That's what they do. They throw the ball down the field. They put the ball in number 9's hands a lot of different ways. And that's a special player that they've got there. And they've got a lot of other weapons. And Colorado needs to answer. They've got plenty of time here left in the second quarter. Bring the ball down the field and be efficient.
It's like Garrett Pinkel working the sideline. Good move for down the road purposes. The tight end to use the motion now. 3rd and 1.5 yards. And nothing doing that time. The running back Sumler shut down. May have lost a half a yard. So Missouri got the stop, and it's going to be a punt.
Now Summer's been their tough yardage back inside, but not enough penetration there. Excuse me, not enough push by the offensive line making a play there. Good job of stepping up in the hole. William Moore making a nice firm tackle, and they're on the tailback.
Well, that is back-to-back possessions now, where Missouri has held Colorado to 3 and out with a punt. As they try to get the ball back into the hands of Jeremy Macklin. Macklin calling for the fair catch and comes up. So good field position when we return to the Tigers. They've got some momentum to capitalize on the solid shape they're in right now. We'll find out. E7 here at Folsom. Quarterback from Mizzou, Corby Jones. He had good wheels as well, just like Chase Daniel. Pound Lehman went for 52 yards on that catch. In fact, Landon led the Big 12 receivers, averaging 25 attempts. This time, Kent went all the way, a 38-yard touchdown. An emotional victory for the Tigers. Head coach Larry Smith and his squad celebrated in the locker room. In fact, that is the only win since '85 for Missouri here in Boulder.
It hasn't been easy for the Tigers, only winning 4 times against Colorado in the last 20 tries, Joel, so trying to change that whole thing here today.
Field position doesn't mean much, does it? In the first 15 minutes of play, they started at their own 23 on average, and now, so far in the second, Missouri starting on average at their own 39. Daniel, designed option roll. He'll keep it himself. He's got a blocker in front. Daniel down the sideline for a first down inside the 45. Boy, and his guard came out. Actually his tackle, Colin Brown, and he's trying to find somebody to block. It was that good.
This is well executed by the Tigers offensively. Everybody's blocking up here. If you can hold it right there, you're going to see a block right here. You're going to see it on the bottom, and then Chase Daniel's going to run right through here. And then watch number 81, Denario Alexander at the bottom of the screen here. He's going to get a good block on the outside, and Chase Daniel's going to take it right inside of that. So for a nice gain here on first down.
The gain of 22, all the way to the 43. They fled one side, go back the other way. It's Franklin, and he got the grab. What a catch inside the 6. Over the shoulder, maintaining a position on the boundary.
Well, big play, Will Franklin here. This is the second huge play in the ball game by Franklin as a wide receiver going down the field. And what a catch here on the outside as Chase Daniel catches it with one hand. The play fake, and then watch down the outside of the field here as Franklin's got coverage there by Terrence Wheatley, who overruns the play here, and he comes back to the football. Does he have control there going out of bounds? I think he does. This may be reviewed here from upstairs, but a nice effort by Will Franklin on the outside.
I don't think it's going to be reviewed. Daniel running it himself and spinning. Taken down right at the 5-yard line by Jeff Smart. Otherwise, he's got a great lane to run through.
Yeah, didn't give a chance to look at that upstairs. Well, trying to get the ball to Chase Daniel there very quickly on that quick snap and get that fastball offense working against his defense. And 3 big plays here in the football game with Will Franklin and then Perry on the outside. 3 long plays by Chase Daniel throwing the football.
Well, 10 completions for 250 yards. Not a bad average per catch for Daniel. He shifts his running back. His most successful tonight so far, Jimmy Jackson. He'll run on that side with Jackson. And Jackson comes back to the congestion. And boy, did he have it at the boundary. If he took it outside, he had blocking over to the right side with a flag at the end of the play.
Now, he should have stayed to the outside. Jackson had room to the outside. Why would he turn it inside? And
sure he's going to, after the play, personal foul, 86 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
And that's a good play here for the Tigers. They're going to get a first fresh set of downs inside the 10-yard line here. Going to take it half the distance, but a penalty on the defense, and Chase Daniel going to be able to suit it up here, but trying to run that option to the near sideline, and Jackson should have taken it around the edge, Joe. He would have had a touchdown.
You know what's really interesting about this game, Gary? We talk about Coffman and Rucker, and they line up on the hip of each other on the right side. Each has only 1 catch for a total of 3 yards apiece. Now Jackson on first and goal. Nothing doing. They go low and put him down. Yeah, it was Jordan Dizon. Who else?
Yeah, you'd be surprised if anybody else in there. Jordan Dizon just steps up in the hole, and good contact. They're kind of clearing the cobwebs from his helmet there.
Take a knee to the helmet? Yeah,
he may have. He may have to step out on after that play because he made a contact there right in the middle of the screen, and bingo, right into the knee, I think, of the tailback as he came in the hole.
A little more than 6 minutes to play in the half. The Missouri Tigers leading by 7. Daniel brings in Temple. It'll be delayed. Temple over to the left side. Beats one. Beats another to the corner. Collared, and he's in. They got him around the face mask, but it didn't make any difference. Touchdown, Tony Temple. That hurt from here.
Now just running down the field, and Tony Temple does a good job of going to the outside and making something happen. And he's a guy that they need in that backfield to contribute to this offense. Can't do everything through the air. You've got to be able to make some plays on the ground. And Tony Temple now back in the lineup, doing a good job of getting around the edge and putting the ball across the end line.
Close. It's going to be reviewed.
Yeah, is he down? His knees are down, obviously, before the goal line. He's holding the football out. Is that crossing the goal line prior to his knees touching the ground? That's the call here by the officials.
Well, we'll get other angles. They'll be looking at other angles to find out if there's something to overturn that call. Otherwise, there's not indisputable evidence through the video, then the play will stand. The knee was definitely down, but the ball break the plane first. John Bible is our referee. So Missouri trying to make it 3 straight possessions with 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
You see, where's the football at and where's his knee at? He's actually down right here. Holds on to the ball, not a problem there.
Can't
but
tell
does he get the ball over the goal line? I'm not sure we have an angle right on the goal line. And
he was alert to put it out and expose it like he was trying to get it across the chalk.
Well, this is the guy who's got the best angle of it right there. That official who's looking inside, and he's the one that calls it. He's right on the goal line. Here's the best shot we may have. I think it's a touchdown.
Yeah, I think the ball's across as his knee. It's almost simultaneous.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's going to reverse that from what we're seeing with these different replays. And
so now that you've said that, the play won't
After
stand.
review, the play stands. It's called on the field. It's a touchdown.
So the Tigers get a short field after the short punt. 35 yards. They got it at their own 35-yard line. A 65-yard drive, and it didn't take long. But again, a big play set it all up. The catch by Will Perry.
Well, I tell you,
Will Franklin.
Will Franklin on the outside does a great job catching that ball almost with one hand on the sideline.
So 4-yard touchdown run officially. Now by Tony Temple. Cross it for the point after, not Wolford. So the punter with the extra point. And it was Wolford actually. No reflexer this time. 24-10 Tigers. 150 of their 303 yards through the air. Wheatley over the far corner will take it out to 2. Their defensive back across the 20 has a nice lane. A great field position for Colorado across the 35 with a nifty return by Terrence Wheatley. Well, what about the catch though by Will Franklin?
Now Will Franklin on the right side of your screen here, going to go down. Watch him almost with one hand catch his football. Caught the ball inbounds, marked inside the 10-yard line. And then the touchdown here with Tony Temple sticking the ball out over the end zone. Jake Durham couldn't get him down in the backfield, and he does the work. Getting the ball outstretched over the end line.
It's a 7th possession for Colorado. They had 99 yards in the first 15 minutes of play. The Missouri defense has made adjustments, only 9 so far in the second 15 for the Buffaloes. We still have 5:48 left. Now Wheatley, Gimpy after that play, and that would be a huge setback if they lose the guy that was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, their quarterback.
Yeah, and remember Jordan Dizon had a tackle in the hole there, and he took himself out of the ball game. So if you have Dizon and Terrence Wheatley out of the defense, wow, that'd be a huge loss for the defense there.
It'll be Charles setting up in the eye behind the tight end. Mizzou shows a 5-man front, quick one outside, and it's dropped by the young wide receiver Celestine, the true freshman from Louisiana. It'll be 2nd and 10 as we head downstairs. Noxie.
All right, thank you, Joe. As you see, getting ready for the Sonic halftime report. Not me, but DeMarco Farr and Michael Kohlberg coming up on the Sonic halftime report. They'll take a look at other Big 12 action going on this afternoon. That thrilling Texas win against Oklahoma State. Also the top 10 scoreboard and #1 team in the nation, Ohio State, in action. That's coming up on the Sonic halftime report. You guys are ready, right, huh? Chip, I know you're ready. There we go. Oh, come on, you guys.
Back to the order of the day. 2nd and 10. It'll be Hawkins. Blitz comes, hit as he released it, and overthrows. DeBray is tied in. Once again, off the edge, more the free safety.
Yeah, put a little pressure on the quarterback, Cody Hawkins, not able to throw the football on timing, and William Moore gets there actually before Cody Hawkins can release his football. Watch from the back of your screen there, and bingo. Cody Hawkins not able to finish that delivery. You see the helmet up a little bit high there. Nice speed by Moore coming around the edge.
So 5 straight misses by Hawkins, and he's just 3 for his last 12. Don't forget he started 3 for 3. He's 6 for 15 for 67 yards.
And a huge passing yardage difference in this ball game. Missouri putting up in the air and making big plays.
So they're showing a blitz again on 3rd and 10. Do they back off or keep coming? Hawkins out of the gun. They will blitz. They pick it up well up the middle. Good coverage downfield and almost intercepted. You believe that? Lorenzo Williams dropping deep like a linebacker after they stunned it up front and they dropped him.
Yeah, it's called a zone blitz. You bring your defensive lineman there. You see the linebackers walk up in there. And Lorenzo Williams is going to be getting back. And here is Lorenzo Williams right there. He's a nose tackle, guys, and he's back in the backfield. And he's trying to make a play on the football, just reading the quarterback's eyes. And maybe not as nifty a foot there as one of the linebackers.
He scored last week, didn't he?
He sure did.
So he's looking for a pick, and he wants to take that one to the house. Macklin waits for the punt. Delano Wobbles one out. And again, it'll be an early hit. It'll be covered by Colorado. But down early for the Buffaloes and getting to Macklin before the ball got there, Jaleel Brown. So Missouri will retain possession.
Kick catch interference, 23 on the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I don't know if I've seen it twice all year. We've seen it three times in this game already.
You bet. And you see Jaleel Brown there at the bottom of the screen, definitely making contact with Macklin at the time he catches the football, or actually before that, and Macklin not able to catch it. The penalty here, and going to give Missouri some more yardage here to start this drive. Going to move it up to about the 41-yard line.
So that's 6 penalties, 55 yards marked off against Colorado. Missouri's already got 30, and they don't even average 35 a game.
And I think this is a big stand here for Colorado defensively. You cannot allow Missouri to continue to go down the field here and get up more points in this ball game. They've come back and they're up 14 now in the second quarter, and they're to get more points here against this defense. It could be something insurmountable for the Colorado offense.
Reason with the fake. Bam. Go. Wide receiver Saunders. It's complete. Got about 6. It's almost like a running play the way they set things up. Yeah, it's a high percentage pass play.
Yeah, they'll spread you out. They want to throw that ball sideline to sideline and use the different receivers to catch the football. And nothing new for Chase Daniel. And we didn't have the most efficient start of the ball game. Had a lot of drops by Missouri early on in this football game, and it kind of gave Colorado a chance to stay in this game. But right now, they're kind of on game with the passing game, throwing the ball down the field, and things are starting to click for Chase Daniel.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. Daniels 10 of 22. You should be about 14 or 15 of 22. It'll be Macklin, and he flips it off to Denario Alexander. Alexander doesn't use the block by Daniel at all. He had the sideline sealed.
Now, Charles Gaines actually comes off the block by the quarterback and does a good job. Actually, Lucas there does it. Watch on the backside of the play here. You can see the double reverse here. Everybody thinks Macklin's got the football. Well, Denario Alexander's going to come, and here's the block there by Cody Hawkins on the outside, and Lucas comes off of that block and makes a nice play on Denario Alexander, who's one of the faster players on the Missouri football team.
Nobody on the sideline. Absolutely no one on the sideline. Coach's footage up here for us, all 22.
Just running around the edge.
Third and a couple, and Daniels going to call a timeout. They've already used one. This is their second of the half. 4 minutes to play. And Macklin, by the way, has a new MU single-season all-purpose yardage record. Already with 139 yards in this game, breaking the old mark set by Devin West back in 1998. That's how much of an impact that redshirt freshman has already made. College football Saturday tripleheader will continue right after our matchup here in Boulder. Washington State and the Golden Bears. Can Cal get it straight back in Berkeley? Strawberry Canyon's a sight on FSN. You know, the BCS rankings, and you know what, when we talk about the rankings, look at Missouri and Kansas. At the start of the year, we're in San Antonio in July for the Big 12 meetings. Everybody talking about the South. Well, Oklahoma's still there. Texas is 15. Nobody talked about Missouri and Kansas. Come on.
Texas won today. They may move up because of some losses potentially ahead of them. But 3 teams of the Big 12 in the top 10 here for the BCS. That's huge for the conference. And Big 12 is doing a good job overall this year. And you take a look at Kansas versus Nebraska, some huge records in that football game.
The Jayhawks and the Tigers, November 24th, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. God, I hope I can get there. That is going to be some kind of football game. Chase Daniel needs 2. He's got Rucker. Can he hang on? Because he's had a couple of drops. And he put it on the ground. It's a fumble. It's a fumble. Man, no call yet. The lineman, Llewellyn, trying to get in there to help out, and they did cover it. Missouri got the football back at a first down. And was it Tyler Llewellyn or Martin Rucker?
And the play action here, and Martin Rucker checks out of the screen package here and gets the football. He's got a first down there, and then the contact there. The ball came out late, and Smart, to number 45, almost comes down on the football for the Colorado defense.
Forced by Dykes, a strong safety.
Rucker's got a strong right arm. He pulled that one underneath.
So first down for Missouri, almost giving away great field position. Tony Temple weaves off to the left side, outside his tackle, and that's one of their best straight running plays. You got about 5. The battle downfield. Chase Coffman got into it downfield with the safety. And Dykes is upset. He thought there should have been a flag thrown for a little altercation after the play was blown dead. That's why you hear the boos in the background. So Missouri with plenty of time on the clock, looking at a second and about 5, a little more than 3 minutes to play. They have dominated the second 15 minutes. That is the difference. They went into the second quarter, trailing 10-7. Time for Daniel. Now the safety comes over and should have it. He dropped it. His own man took it away from him. Actually, Benjamin Burney should have had it.
Yeah, Benjamin Burney was actually playing the safety position there and comes across and on that ball and runs into his other own player, Gardner McKay, number 6. Watch McKay run into him, hits him right in the chest. That ball should be caught. Safety coming over the top, doing a good job of breaking on the ball. Chase Daniel throwing it down the field. He's had success doing that, but this ball not able to get out there to his receiver.
So it's going to
Jerry Perry a little bit.
A third down, Missouri 50% leads the nation in third down conversions at almost 60%. So 3rd and 5. Daniel, ton of time. Looked Rutgers way. Now he can run for it, and he will get it. Daniel, more yardage than he needed inside the 30, and that's the added dimension. He showed that in the second half at Oklahoma when they finally moved him out of the pocket occasionally. That was straight at the middle, though. 14 for Chase Daniel.
Yeah, smart quarterback, and he reads the defense, and he sees what's ahead of him here. You're going to see a parting C for the quarterback, and he's just going to take it right up the hole. There's no black shirts in the picture, and he says, okay, I can get a first down here for my team. Chase Daniel got pretty good wheels. Not a guy that's going to run out there quite a bit. He's no Vince Young out there, but he's fishing enough to get a first down.
Now Daniel with a great lane to throw. Overshoots everybody. There's double coverage in the neighborhood of both tight ends, Coffman and Rucker, each side of the goalpost.
Yeah. 2 big targets running down the hash marks and going to the end zone and converging there. Chase Daniel throwing it up there and actually throwing the ball out of the end zone, trying to just live for another play. He's up 2nd and 10. We got plenty of time to go. 2 minutes and 27 seconds in this half. And see Martin Rucker with his all-time catches with Missouri. He's moving up the charts. He's number 2.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Started back in the Mizzou 41. They've got it at the Colorado 28. Go the other way to Rucker. And Rucker spins inside the 25. They'll put him down right there after his short game. Good play in the open field by Dizon.
Yeah, that was a play that he scored on early in the ball game. Martin Rucker making plays for his football team, and huge at what he's done this season. You look at him in yardage there and things that he's done. Leads the tight ends in the nation. He's the #1 receiving threat on this football team. Number of catches, and Martin Rucker is a guy they want to put the ball in his hands. He's a big play tight end.
57 catches on the season. That tops all tight ends. He's got 17 career scores. He had an earlier touchdown reception. Daniel on 3rd and long. Ton of time again. Now flushed out. He's got Coffman. Comes back to his tight end. He's got a first down. Coffman on his way. Will he get into the end zone? Touchdown, Missouri. Chase Daniel did it again.
Now Chase Daniel buys time with his feet, Joel, and he finds his tight end, who actually is just smart enough to find a hole in the zone of the defense, and then he just finishes it off with a run. Chase Coffman does a nice job here. He's at the top of the screen, and you're going to watch him come across the field, and just hold it right there. He's got nowhere else to go, and he just sits in the pocket. So he just sits there and waits for it, catch the football, and when he does, goes around the edge. Jordan Dizon does not make the tackle on him, and also Smart there can't handle it, and hey, everybody just reaching at this tight end. He goes right around him.
How good is Chase Daniel? This kid, and
it's poise.
It's polish, it's poise, it's the patience, and the one thing that you have to have in college football is a mobile quarterback. It has nothing to do with Sundays, it's Saturdays, and they've got a quarterback that can move. You better have a mobile one in the college game, and Mizzou's lucky to have him. Wolford with the extra point. So Daniel, he could have been frustrated early. He had 4 or 5 drops in the first quarter alone. He's 14 of 28 now, 288. And his wheels set this one up for Mizzou. Coffman and Rucker both with touchdowns now. 31-10 Missouri. Good like Chase Daniel. Rucker is senior. Coffman, the touchdown, the junior from Peculiar, Missouri. So they're both into the end zone. And Mizzou now by 21. Number 9 team in the nation, trying to keep pace with the Jayhawks. And the Jayhawks, they just clobbered Nebraska. Nebraska, they didn't just head south. They fell off the face of the earth this year. Minute 32 to play in the half. And it's going to stay in the end zone. There was a penalty before the point after, so a short kick. And Ellis will stay right there. Chase Daniel, though, created it all on his own, didn't he?
Well, with Coffman, the tight end, he's going to catch the football here and just kind of sit down in the middle of the zone. And when he catches the football, he's going to run up the field. And nice effort there by Chase Daniel, throwing it behind his body there, just throwing it across the field. And no tackles made there by the Colorado defense.
Yeah, how about the set of tight ends we got? All three, in fact. Tyson DeVray, throw him in there. Rucker's got 17 touchdowns on his career. Coffman's got 17. DeVray has 12. So the top three in TD catches among active tight ends of the Big 12, all on the field today. Missouri dominating the second 15 minutes. And that's the difference in the game right now. Trying to get heat on Hawkins. Dump off for Ellis. And tripped up in the open field. Missouri got a good play out of the secondary by Carl Guinness.
Man, you got to be smart here with the football. Cody Hawkins trying to get the hurry-up offense running by with this football team, but you don't want to make a mistake down here in this area of the field. You want to be able to make plays and don't want to turn the ball over for sure. And it's okay to punt the ball if you don't get first down.
Hawkins, pocket protection, dumps again. Ellis, met by the linebacker. He's dropped actually the end. Schumacher runs like a linebacker. At 6'5", 250. Kind of an undersized guy on the rush end.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to take some time off the clock here and let things run down a little bit. Third and 7 or 8 here to go, Joel.
If I'm Mizzou, I think about calling a timeout. Only it's 31-10. Get to the locker room.
No sense of urgency now for Colorado, and don't want to do anything to give Missouri great field position. You won't have a turnover here.
Missouri has been so successful in final drives of the half or games, mostly the half though. So that'll stop the clock. Charles will make him punt it with 15 seconds to go. And I don't think Missouri would have called on the timeout if he went down there.
Well, the problem is now that you're going to have to punt to a guy who's got number 9 on his jersey, and that might also need to be an S. That's Jeremy Macklin. He's going to go back as a punt returner. He's got 2 touchdowns on the year as a punt returner. He hasn't had one fielded cleanly today because there's been so much good coverage and actually getting to him a little bit early. But this is a dangerous part of the field for him to catch a punt and perhaps a long return.
Alexander trying to get to it. Now this is going to be an interesting one. Macklin with room. Can he get outside? Beats him on the corner. Makes a miss and barely tripped up. He goes out down with a second left. On a 13-yard return. Actually, you want the hang time more than the distance. That was a 47-yarder by DeLallo, and it was his best punt, but it gave Macklin a little room.
And it's the first real opportunity for Jeremy Macklin to return a punt in 2 or 3 weeks. You know, hasn't had a chance to do that. And Chase Daniel brings his offense out there, and they're going to get in that victory formation, take this 31-10 lead here in halftime.
And Gary, let's also remember the Missouri defense. The last 4 possessions for Colorado, 3 and out with a punt. And before that, Missouri forced a fumble on the takeaway from Cody Hawkins when his arm was back. So Missouri's defense stepped up after giving some early points, but there were points off turnovers, short fields. Let's head down to Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, thank you, Joe. Coach, you got to be extremely pleased. Your offense over 300 total yards just here in the first half.
Well, yeah, but I think it starts with defense. We got some real bad field position for our offense first half. Held them to that 1 field goal at one time, and then we've been making a punt, and then our offense made some plays. So we just got to keep it up.
Yeah, and defense here in the second quarter limited Colorado to a total offense of less than 20 yards.
Yeah, we're doing some good things. You know, that's one half, and we got a big half left ahead of us.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Right now, let's head to the Sonic halftime report and join Mike Goldberg and DeMarco Farr. Mike.
Knox. Tigers.
CS rankings. Joel Myers, Gary Reasons, Jim Knox back at Folsom Field. Slow start, sputtering start, drop passes for Chase Daniel, usually reliable sources. But then the Tigers took over. And did they ever take over in the second quarter? 24-point haymaker in the second 15 minutes of play.
If you're a Tiger fan, a lot of fun there to watch that, because I tell you, Chase Daniel started to throw the ball down the field, and he made plays in the passing game, long plays. Early in the ball game here, Wilt Franklin catches the football, makes a huge play, 72 yards on the reception, sets up their first touchdown of the football game, and he just continued to go from there. Chase Daniel throwing the ball down the field. To take a look at Jeremy Macklin, a big play receiver for him, and does a good job of taking that into the end zone, and he wasn't finished. This young man throws it down the field again to Wilt Franklin once again. That sets up another Missouri touchdown, and Again, take a look here as Chase Daniel gets out of the pocket and he finds his tight end, Chase Coffman, who outruns the defense here and gets into the end zone. So Missouri made some big plays, Joel, in this first half of the football game with Chase Daniel throwing the ball down the field, making big plays. And I think the big thing in this football game for Colorado is they are not converting on third downs. Only 4 first downs in this football game, and third downs are only 2 of 10. The time of possession is pretty good, and the total yardage you look in this football game, one-sided by Mizzou, way on top.
So we begin the second half. Now, will Colorado be able to sustain something offensively and get back into the game? They're going to put Hugh Charles back at the goal line because Wheatley is injured. He is going to return, they say. It'll be Charles 2 yards into the end zone. Slowed down to the 20 and popped out of bounds at the 21 as we head downstairs to Jim Nunns.
All right, thank you, Joel. Just got through talking to Colorado head coach Dan Hawkins. He told me, you know, they gave up a couple big plays in the first half. His kids got a little bit down, mainly because they couldn't move the ball on offense. But they're going to stick to their game plan here in the second half. They're going to go out, they're going to run the ball, and they're going to do some play-action passing. He says, keep in mind, too, Joel, you were here a few weeks ago, 24-7, they were down to Oklahoma, and look what happened there. They stuck with their game plan, and it paid off. We'll see what happens here in the second half.
All right, Jim, you're right. They have shown that they are a resilient group for Dan Hawkins, and nobody thought that this team, with his son at quarterback, would be 5-4, 9 games into the season. After a 2-10 mark last year, Ellis is in the backfield. See if they can run Sprague, get him involved. He's been their guy, and there's going to be a dead ball foul. How about a delay of game?
Delay, offense, 5 yards, first down.
That's not exactly the way you want to come out of the locker room.
Now you want to come out being a lot more efficient. Take a look what they did in the first half there. They got the touchdown in the first situation of the ball game on a interception by the defense, and just 11 yards to get that in the end zone. But see all the punting situations, not a lot going on for them, and the one turnover there on the fumble. But overall, Colorado has not moved the ball efficiently offensively, only 2 of 10 on third downs.
Well, we can talk all night about the Missouri offense, and they're that good. But if Missouri gets a lick out of their defense, they're going to vie for the Big 12 North title. And that's what's going to be the difference from Mizzou down the stretch. Quick one for Scotty McKnight, his first catch of the game. Yes. He's pushed out of bounds by Carl Geddes, true freshman from O'Fallon, Missouri. And the playmakers, not much there against the Missouri defense that took over in the second 15 minutes of play.
Yeah, those are not impressive numbers by any of those players on the screen there, but overall they're going to have to just stay with their game plan. I agree with Dan Hawkins' assessment of, hey, just stay what we do normally, and that is run the football. We have to use our play-action passing game, get Cody Hawkins out of the pocket, let him throw the ball on timing. But they've got to protect him a little bit better, too. He's taken a couple of shots back there.
Well, the way they played keep away last week against Texas Tech was an early 14-0 lead. It's going to be a false start.
Before the snap, false start, number 5 offense. 5 yards, second down.
It's on the wide receiver, Celestine, another true freshman. They're using a number of true freshmen on offense. You talked about the keys. Let's go back to them, Gary.
I want to talk about getting Missouri off balance there and getting them to start. But the 7 negative plays, sure, that was what they've done. But they haven't. They kind of picked back up. Missouri did, making big plays and staying balanced offensively. Just 41 rush yards. That's not good. And 72 pass yards. Cody Hawkins has to be more efficient than that. And Jeremy Macklin, 152 total yards in coverage. So he's the guy that can make plays in the kick return game. And they've got to continue to hold him in check.
Show heat off the other side. Go to the far side. And a nice move after the catch by Dusty Sprague to get some yardage. At least the penalty yardage back. 9 on the completion. But it is still going to be third down.
Well, nice effort by Sprague here to catch the football and make something happen after the catch here. You see the inside out by Justin Garrett, who's in the game because Pig Brown not able to play in his football game because of an injury to his Achilles, ruptured Achilles, and pressure on the quarterback as well. They're continuing to get to the quarterback all the time here. Moore's come off the edge several times and hit Cody Hawkins.
So 3rd and 4. You talked about the failure on third downs. 35% of the season, 20% in the first half. Move the tight end, Ryder Geary's yet to make a catch. So fell out, more blocking, and now Cody Hawkins did a good job. He leads the pressure, but he's bumped out of the 29, and he's short of the first down by 2.
Now, Brock Christopher, the middle linebacker, did not do a good job of just running inside out on the quarterback and taking a good angle to him to make the play. And going to bring up a 4th down, though, nonetheless. Cody Hawkins just a little bit short of that first down situation, but had an opportunity to get there, and Brock Christopher just didn't make the play.
Well, Macklin's yet to really break one. He's been effective, but not the home run. Saw hook and ladder that he was involved with earlier, and they almost get the punt. Alexander close a couple of times. Macklin up the middle making a miss and barely tripped up. And he may have tripped up over his own man. One of his own, the back of the leg of his own blocker.
And he knows that he had one opportunity there because he just go up the field. It looks like he's got a way to run there. And take a look at Missouri and what they've done in the first half. The interception early on turned into points by Colorado, and then they kind of got things going. But Joe, later in the second quarter with 3 touchdowns there, the long passes by Chase Daniel down to Will Franklin kind of set things up for him very well, using Jeremy Macklin as well in that, and Jared Perry. So ball being thrown down the field by Chase Daniel has been the answer here for the Tigers.
So 1st and 10, great field position for the opening drive of the second half for Daniel. And Daniel middle of the field, and Macklin didn't turn around. He was late in recognition. Once he did, it was there, and he could only get that left paw out there.
Yeah, that's something you have to have as a receiver. You've got to say, when the ball's in the air, I want it. You got to think every time you're going to get the football. Here's some playmakers from Missouri. You take a look at Chase Daniels' numbers. Not impressive on a percentage, but the yardage, 288 yards down the field throwing the football, and Jeremy Macklin making some plays there as well.
Wide side option. Temple. Little hesitation move, didn't fool anybody. Trying to bounce out, and he is pushed out with a loss of 3 back to the 45.
Yeah, well played by the Buffalo, stringing that out there. The option play down the field, and Jones going down, making the play on the outside as well. Only Temple hasn't had a whole lot of running room today. For Missouri, we talked about them starting fast. They had a turnover early in the ball game, but they kind of got on cue in the second quarter, take away the run game. Well, Colorado hasn't been able to run very well. Only 41 yards. They haven't gotten Hugh Charles on check, and time of possession has been pretty even for both football teams. Colorado would like to run the ball and be able to use that time, take that time away from Missouri's opportunities on offense.
It'll be 3rd and 13. Slide Goldsmith out of the backfield. But Daniel finds some time. He doesn't want to cross the line. He wants to throw the football. And he's got Macklin wide open. The grab, no. Dropped it on the way, his way down. There's been a bunch of those for Chase Daniel tonight.
Now, if you think of Chase Daniel, you think he's a magician with his feet of how he moves around, and you get Chase Daniel in the backfield, and he's going to just move around. And here's Jeremy Macklin right here, and he's a guy who's going to make a play and find some way to get open. So take a look at what happens here as Chase Daniel just kind of signals him around down the field, and just a little bit overthrown. Almost an opportunity to pull that in. Ball sails a little bit here in the altitude, and almost a nice catch by Macklin.
Well, earlier, Crossett had his first punt blocked this season. This is now his first punt since the first 15 minutes of play. It was that good from Mizzou in the second quarter. Chase McBride waits back for the wobbler, and a good one. He'll take it at the 10, put it on the ground, recovered. But Mizzou is down on coverage, and they get him at the 11. So that's where it begins. Both teams fail to convert. 3 and out with the punt both ways. But first word, Yamaha ATVs say nothing tougher than a Yamaha. And the first down marker, all brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% on brand name products. Live better with Overstock.com. It is all about the O. In a recovery mode, can Colorado get back in the game? Second possession, second half, and their worst field position to start a drive so far tonight. Back at their own 11. They had to be able to run the football. They have not taken any heat off that young man by having some balance. In fact, 16 carries for Colorado, only 42 yards on the ground. Missouri has shut down what they wanted to do the most as Douglas weaves his way up the middle and crashes at the 18. So 2 minutes gone in the third.
You know, you get Hugh Charles started running north and south, and that's what the commitment that Dan Hawkins talked about. They got to keep it to their plan. What I mean by that is they've got to run the football, and as you talked about it, Joel, take the pressure off of Cody Hawkins, and if you can run the football, it's going to open up the play-action passing game. Sure, you're down 31-10 in this football game. That's 3 scores, but if you can manage your game and you can do the things that you want to offensively, that can happen for you.
Charles stays in the backfield in the eye on second and short. And dragged down from behind. Well, Mark Helfrich, their offensive coordinator, when we spoke with him, he said, you know, they can't afford turnovers because they're not a big play offense. But now they find themselves down by 21, and they're basically a grinded out unit. So they can't put too much pressure on their quarterback to come up with long throws like Chase Daniel because he doesn't possess that kind of strength.
Well, it's the blended style of offense that they run, that they need to be able to run the football, have play-action passing, and efficient passing by the quarterback. They do not have the skilled receivers all the way around the field that Missouri has as far as talented weapons out there for Cody Hawkins to distribute the ball to.
Yeah, they need a little more than 2 on this third down. 2 for 11 now. Dismal numbers on their third down conversions. Hawkins and Buster. McKnight turned in, he threw it out. And Missouri stops him again. So for Missouri, that is now 6 consecutive times Colorado has failed to pick up a first down on 6 straight series.
Yeah, now 2 of 11 on third downs here for Colorado in this football game. Not being efficient there. They decide to throw the football on 3rd and short instead of trying to run the football. They ran it first 2 downs for 8+ yards, and surprised they probably didn't run the ball a little bit outside, or at least have the quarterback take it down and run the football forward. A miscommunication on the outside with the receiver.
Macklin waiting for the Delano punt. There's going to be a false start. And it's going to be on the outside man.
23 offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
Judge Jaleel Brown, and he's had some issues on the outside. He's hit Macklin early. So all we talked about the frustrations. Dan Hawkins and the Buffaloes, opposite side, the extreme for Missouri. Their defense since the first quarter has not given up a first down to Colorado.
Doing a good job holding them in check, and you need to flip the field here with your punter if you can get a good ball out there.
And it is a good one. Hangs on Rise. Takes Macklin out of the return game. On his wallet, he's got it back at the 49. 38-yard punt. Well, it is now National College Football Day. Today, this Saturday, November 3rd, almost the end of the day, and what a day it has been for college football. And for the 2nd consecutive year, the Cotton Bowl, the AT&T Cotton Bowl, has teamed up with the V Foundation for cancer research, raising money, fund cancer research, in conjunction with National College Football Day. So all across the country, we celebrate something we all love. And into November, it goes. Got to wait another month before bowl games, basically.
Well, great tradition in college football and the remembrance of college, how it all started. Good stuff there on National College Football Day.
November 24th, Missouri and Kansas. Macklin fakes the reverse. Denario Alexander kept it himself, and after all is said and done, only a yard from Macklin. Good play on the outside.
Yeah, Chappelle Brown does a good job staying at home there, not allowing a speedy Jeremy Macklin come around on the reverse here. On the near sideline, you're going to see Jeremy Macklin come around, and watch number 29 here. Does a good job, breaks down, has his balance down, doesn't just take those fakes that Macklin gives him, and it's a nice tackle.
Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers in the set for Daniel. Only a 3-man rush. Plenty of time for Macklin. He's right at the marker, short by 5 yards.
Complete to number 9, Jeremy Macklin.
So Macklin now a new single-season record for Missouri in all-purpose yards. In the Big 12, he leads at 187 yards a game. Points per game, number 3, and in touchdowns. He's right there in the top 5.
You see the ball in his hands a lot when you watch this Missouri football team. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to hand it off to him. They're going to get it to him in the kick return game. So big play capability, and he's a special player.
2 punt returns very early this season. 4 scores. Now on 3rd and a couple. Underneath Rucker. A little kind of bubble screen to the tight end who comes out of the middle of the 3 receivers over there. They, Gary, use their tight ends like wide receivers, though.
Yeah, they really do. They don't line them up necessarily as a tight end to block and all that kind of stuff. They use Chase Coffman and Martin Rucker on the outside. It's the 3rd time in this ball game they've run that similar type of screen to get the ball to the tight end to get short yarders. They got a touchdown on it early in the football game.
They also had a turnover on it. First time they ran that bubble on the near side.
And that was the Will Franklin, and then the ball came off of his hands.
Fake the give to Alexander, and nobody accounted for him out of the backfield. So he makes the first man miss, spins for the first down. Nice moves by a guy that, for the coaches in the conversation earlier this week, did they ever talk about Denario Alexander? Sophomore at 6'5", 210 pounds. They've got some wide receivers.
Yeah, he had a little injury problem early this season, but got him back in the lineup. And he's got explosive speed. He's kind of like a Jeremy Macklin, but maybe not as much shake and bake as Macklin will give you. But he's got that kind of a burst that you want with your wide receivers, and he gives them a lot of quality depth at that position.
Got Derek Washington setting up. Kind of the hip of the right tackle. Shift Alexander. Another first down for Missouri at the 37 of Colorado. Missouri winners only once over their last 11 meetings here at Folsom Field. It is Washington. Good run. Outside his right tackle. About 5. So Missouri is going to milk the moment. There's 5 minutes gone in the third. They're not going to rush the situation. It's been rare when they've had these kind of days in Boulder.
Well, I think they need to do that too, Joel. So, they've got this fastball offense. What they do is they call the line play at the line of scrimmage. They do not huddle, and Chase Daniel is firmly in control there. He's got plenty of he's got points now. He's got 3 scores here, 21-point lead in this football game, and not a big hurry to operate here and give the ball back to the defense.
It's now second, close to a half dozen. Little wagon action. Coffman looking for his second touchdown. The hurdle and the move. What a touchdown for Chase Coffman. I don't know if it was a low or a high hurdle, but it worked anyway. 23 yards on the score.
Tremendous effort by Chase Coffman. Knows he's going to get contacted on the sideline, and he says, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you a little hurdling capability here. Good job by the quarterback, Chase Daniel, finding his tight end out there on the outside and watching this hurdle. I think it's Ryan Walters, the safety, coming up, making a low tackle. Kind of goes down there, and he spins and gets it into the end zone. Remarkable effort by the big tight end.
Jeff Wolford in for the extra point. So with this, it would be 31 unanswered by Mizzou. And that's the story. 31 consecutive points by Missouri on the road at Colorado. Go figure. Tigers and Coffman. The hurdler Coffman by 28. Typical of the Missouri Tigers, didn't take much more than 2 minutes, and that's the way they are. A quick strike offense. 6 plays, 51 yards. Chase Coffman on the receiving end for the second time and the 18th time in his career.
Now, what have we seen this today against with Missouri offensively? We got Jeremy Maclin, Will Franklin, now Chase Coffman. All of them contributing in this offense as big playmakers all across the field.
Jeff Wolford kicks it away. Charles, not Wheatley. Wheatley played defensively. We're going to save him though. Charles up to the 25, bolts his way out to the 28. So Missouri with a 38-10 lead. And in our conversation earlier this week with Gary Pinkel, he talked about road wins, and road wins in particular in November. The team that's going to win the Big 12 North is going to win on the road late.
Yeah, he said that they've got to change the mindset a little bit about their program, and they changed how they approach things this year. They talked about breaking up the season in segments, and they've really talked a lot about this. How do they win and how do they finish ball games? And they're trying to ring that home with this football team, and they're executing here late in this ball game. They got off to kind of a sloppy start, but they have done very well. It was a 31 unanswered points here.
Well, they've had fast starts in the past under Coach Pinkel and awful finishes. This is a different team. Sumler skates his way off the right side, past the 32 to the 33. We talk about Rutgers so much, let's not forget about Coffman.
No, Chase Coffman's a big play kind of a tight end. He's got good wheels, he's got good hands, and he makes plays after he catches the football. Early in the ball game here, you see a catch with him in the run after the catch. And then we saw earlier the catch now with him catching the football and doing the hurdle thing to get into the end zone. So very athletic, big guy on the outside, and he's a playmaker as well with the rest of the bunch that the Tigers roll out there.
He led all Big 12 tight ends last year with 58 catches, 9 run-for scores. Douglas pinned to the perimeter and bumped out with a loss maybe of a yard. So Coffman answering big for the Tigers as they got off to that slow start.
Yeah, watch his linebacker here, Sean Witherspoon. And when you got a linebacker who's a weak side linebacker who can run like this and get to the football, good things are going to happen for your defense. Watch number 12 here get to the football. From the inside out, he's up to the line of scrimmage, and he makes a play on the edge. Sean Witherspoon now is the leading tackler on the football team coming into this football game for the Tigers. And he's been a very stable defensive player for him as a sophomore. It's the first year as a starter, and Gary Pinkel likes his ability, and they think that he's going to be a really good one in the future.
It'll be 3rd and 7. Show the blitz. It brought up the right side of the offensive line. Is that Harrison? Or Ryan Miller, the right tackle? May have been Ryan Miller. Here was Justin Garrett, the safety, who came flashing up right on the nose of the center. Long time, guys. Come on.
Now figure it out. They're going to get it done here. They're making dinner plans.
Probably the same place as us.
That's a delay of game on the defense. That's a move designed to draw a false start by the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Well, you run up there and you kind of feint at the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden, boom, is that going to... Sure is. Justin Garrett comes up there, and that's a kind of a new penalty. It wasn't called years and years ago, but now it's kind of new. You come up and hey, you fake the offense out and call it on the defense.
Definitely different, isn't it?
It is different.
You don't like...
No, I think the defense needs to be able to do what they can. Hey, that quarterback can bulk out signals, can he?
He's trying to induce you.
You bet.
So now it's going to be 3rd and short. Oh, you former linebacker.
I used to call out those plays all the time. You get the bulk a little bit, the lineman to jump.
Still barking to the booth at me. The tight end's available, and they've got the first down. Gear's first catch of the game.
And that's well set up. Good design there by the Colorado offense that time, and Gear was wide open on the outside. Not many times today have we seen anybody this open here for Colorado offensively, and Gear's going to come out of the backfield. He's kind of the F back there, the H back in the backfield, and he just comes underneath the offensive line there, and the defense just doesn't account for it.
That is their first down since the opening 15 minutes of play. He led Colorado receiving last year, but only 24 catches. They didn't have a lot going through the air last season. So first down to the 47. Hawkins with heat again. Ball deflected and intercepted. Picked off by the man who's been all over the place, William Moore. But it was tipped right in the grill of Cody Hawkins.
Now the pressure was applied by Sean Witherspoon, the defensive linebacker on the outside, and he's going to come at the top of the screen here. Watch as Sean Witherspoon goes to the quarterback, and he goes around the offensive tackle. Might have tipped the ball just a little bit there as it comes out of the hand of Cody Hawkins, and Moore does a good job of catching the football. He's been able to rush the passer as well a little bit. Now back in coverage and comes up with a turnover for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think he got a piece of it. So the Tigers get it back. They take over at the 43 of Colorado. And they have completely dominated this contest since the opening 15 minutes. It's 15 consecutive with a takeaway. Wide open, Alexander. And what a grab. Was he in bounds? Denario Alexander. Picture of concentration on the sideline to the 12. Worked against Bernie.
What a catcher on the outside by Alexander, and he's got speed. We talked about that. Chase Daniel throws it down and says, hey, I got one-on-one coverage. Why don't we go for it here? Got the big, tall, 6'5" receiver. Catch that football. He's got a foot inbounds, no doubt about that, and handles the football, controls it very well. Just a very athletic catch.
Chase Daniel got into the skin of some of the D-backs of the Buffaloes. I'll talk about it after this play just a couple of days ago. It'll be Tony Temple. He takes it down to the 10. But in talking to some of the St. Louis and Kansas City Riders in Columbia earlier in the week, he said, we always see cover 2, cover 4. They want us to dink and dunk them. And when I watch film of Colorado, my eyes light up because it's cover 1. They play a lot of man.
Well, and all he's talking about is that if they play man, it's an opportunity for the quarterback and the receiver to make a big play. That's all he's talking about. He's not calling anybody out, especially. I think he's just trying to really say, hey, this is what I read, this is what happens, and when you play zone coverage, you throw it underneath. Would you play man coverage? I'm going to make a big play out of it.
It's at the 10. But the response from the D-backs of Colorado was they thought it was disrespecting him. On the deflection, it's knocked away from Macklin. That was tipped to the line of scrimmage. That wobbled in the direction of Macklin. Chappelle Brown on the coverage.
Chappelle Brown coming down on Jeremy Macklin, who's in the slot here. Going to come inside. Little skinny post, goes behind Walters, and should have caught this football. And maybe Chappelle Brown got a hand in there on that, but I think that was one that you're underneath the defensive back. You probably ought to come up with the football.
That looked like it was wobbling, though. I think somebody got at least a fingertip on it at the line. 365, better than 300 a game coming in. 5th best in the nation, and he wants his first time out of the second half. You called it earlier. You said the kid's got poise way beyond his years, and that's the case for Chase Daniel. We're a little bit more than halfway through the third at Folsom Field. We'll come back with Missouri down to the 10. After this word from your Dr. Pepper bottler in the Big 12. Jordan Dizon out right now, and Doesn't look like he's going to return. Took a knee on the helmet. Jimmy Jackson in the first half as he went down to get him there. He made the stop, but he asked out. And we talked about it right when we saw it live, that he never asked out.
Took himself out of the ball game there, not in the ball game, so we got a couple of linebackers in there, Dick Dern and Jeff Smart playing defense for the Buffaloes in the absence of Jordan Dizon there.
Macklin, the motion man, on third down at the 10, flag down to the play, underneath it, dropped by Earl Goldsmith. And was it offside, Colorado?
I think it was defensively, defensive end on the top of the screen here as we look at it. It seemed to me that jumped across in the neutral zone.
Offside, defense number 47. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Third down over. Downstairs, Jim Knox.
All right, exactly so, Joel. Jordan Dizon out of the game due to a concussion. They said at the bench that they had to hide his helmet. You talk about a tough linebacker. They had to hide his helmet because he wanted to go back in.
That's kind of the old trick on the sideline. You got a guy who wants to play, can't keep him out of the ball game. Well, if you can't go, don't have a helmet out there. I'm surprised he's not grabbing somebody else's to go in there.
We were talking earlier to his defensive coordinator. I said, what about Sundays? He's undersized. What about like a Dat Wynn? Because he's so quick. And his D coordinator said, I don't think they can keep him from playing on Sundays. He's been that good. Daniel into the corner and too hot. Too hot for the wide receiver on that side. He wanted Will Franklin. The coverage, but Bernie.
Coverage pretty good here on the outside. Will Franklin, number 2 at the top of the screen, and a little shove there, not a problem. And Bernie doing a nice job staying with him. He wants the penalty, does. Franklin does.
There's contact, yeah, there's contact both ways. As Franklin was trying to create space. Chase upset with himself. So it's going to be a field goal try. Once again, Jeff Wolford was yet to miss in conference play with 19 consecutive. It's on its way, and it's good again. Chip shot, a little more than an extra point, a 23-yarder. So it is now a 31-point lead, 41-10 Missouri. Alexander set it up with a nice catch. Great catch on the sideline. And out of bounds it goes on the kick from Wolford.
Kickoff out of bounds. Retrieves will take possession at the 35-yard line.
So Colorado, good field position as Valero brings us the Big 12 standings. First, the North. Kansas, easy winner over Nebraska. 76 on the board, if you haven't heard. 11 touchdowns today from the Jayhawks. Missouri, they'll be 8-1 at the end of the day. Colorado 5-5. So Mizzou stays within a game, headed home for a game with Texas A&M. Oklahoma, 7-1. Texas, 24 points in the fourth to go to 8-2 with a win over Oklahoma State. Talk about a heartbreaker for Oklahoma State, Gary.
Yeah, tough ball game for the Cowboys in Stillwater, letting the lead go away.
And 14-0 first half score. Number 6 Oklahoma at home to Texas A&M. Hugh Charles, one of his better runs, weaving his way to the secondary, and Shula catches up with him finally from behind, but a big gain of 17 yards on the carry to the Missouri 48.
Yeah, they need more of that if they can get it, because all the pressure's been on the quarterback, Cody Hawkins, to be efficient in this football game, and it hasn't been easy against this Tiger defense. They have been pretty good this week, and they also been playing well the last several weeks. You take a look at Hugh Charles here getting through the hole, got good block in there, and he's a capable tailback and a guy who's had some big games here of late. You know, 5 of the last 6 games, over 100 yards rushing.
So by far his longest run. Before that, he had 36 yards on the ground. Can't make a miss in the middle of the field, though. As he's dropped. Christopher's there. Gain of only 2. Now the first down marker, all brought to you by Overstock.com. With the convenience of shopping at home, you can save up to 70% on amazing deals from Overstock.com. It is all about the O. Now 6:10 to play here in the third. Missouri by 31. And it looks like Gary Pinkel is going to get a large one off his back. Not a monkey off his back, more like a gorilla. King Kong off his back if he can win in the first Saturday in November. And he's almost there. Hawkins had to throw it away. He had heat in his face, and it was Tommy Chavis, the left end. So this is the confidence that Pinkel was looking for. This is the stepping stone they needed. They need carryover, though, as Kansas 8, Missouri 9, Oklahoma 3 in the top 10 of the BCS. Says a lot, of course, of the Big 12. Texas a winner. They'll move up a little bit. Start of the day at 15 in the BCS rankings. But Mizzou has to win on the road down the stretch, because 3 of the last 4, including this game, away from Columbia. They're at K-State. That's not easy in Manhattan. And then a neutral site, Arrowhead for the final game against the Jayhawks. Hawkins trying to get the first down. On 3rd and about 8, they put it on the ground. And Missouri says they've got it. It looked like the Tigers jumped on it. Yes.
Now they're going to give it to the Tigers, no doubt about that. And Cody Hawkins got to protect the football. Quarterback draw call that time for him to get the ball up the field. Looks like there's going to be a nice gain on the run play by the quarterback. And Sean Witherspoon comes up with the football. Cody Hawkins, you see him there running through the hole. Number 5 pulls the ball out. Good job by Van Alexander making a play on the football and stripping it out. And then Sean Witherspoon get the ball for the Tigers.
So the Tigers take it away. Last week, you brought it up early. A +4 at the end of the day in the win at Texas Tech for Colorado. They're in the negative right now. Coffman, almost a beautiful move, and I thought he was going to get away from Chappelle Brown on the outside. And that's not, when you're a tight end, that's good footwork.
No, he's got great footwork for a big guy, and I'm surprised he didn't hurdle out there. Hurdle had such a success last time. Chappelle Brown with the good low tackles, good center of gravity. They're not lunging forward and just making a good wrap up there on the big guy.
4 grabs. 2 have gone for touchdowns for Coffman. Total of 56 yards. Washington to the backfield on 2nd and 6, and Derrick gets it. Nothing available. Cracked up the middle. Maybe a yard at the most. So it'll be 3rd down. So Chase Coffman with 18 career scores. 17 for Martin Rucker with a touchdown. He had the first score of the day.
Yeah, kind of go back and forth there. Who's going to be the leader at the end of their careers with the Tigers?
That's among active tight ends in the Big 12. Quiet day for DeVray, but you can say that about all the wide receivers included, not just the tight end for the Buffaloes. Daniel, Washington picked up the blitz, guns it over the middle. It's complete. Forgotten man Jared Perry, 2nd grab of the game. He had a big one down the sideline. He's got it to the 37, and that was a bullet.
Yeah, this coming down the field is going to work on Chappelle Brown and go inside there on him. Good cut to the inside. And Dr. Terrence Wheatley in the coverage on him, so good job by Perry, who had a big catch early on in the ball game.
Yeah, his first one went for 45 yards to set up a score for Missouri on a 1st and goal. And Tony Temple punched it in for 4 yards out. It'll be Washington. Got a nice lane. We're talking about big things for this young man as he's got about 7 to the 30. He was rated by one service the 20th best high school tailback in the entire nation. It's Washington High School, Peculiar, Missouri.
That's good.
They
good
won 3 straight 5A titles.
Now, Missouri, they're doing a great job of recruiting. They recruit well in state. Actually, 10 of the 11 starters for the Tigers offensively, Joel, are from the state of Missouri. I thought that kind of unique as when I noticed that in the stats that that's how they set things up offensively.
Set it up for Macklin again on the double reverse. And what is Dizon in there again? He is. How did he find his helmet?
Now we got a word that he would not return to the game. That was given to us by the sports information crew here from Colorado. But
he borrowed a teammate's helmet?
He must have found something that fit. He's got his number on it there. Let's see there. He's got his number on the back of that helmet. You bet, right there. Okay.
I think he stenciled it in himself.
You bet he had. Well, there's the hit he took right on the knee. I tell you, when you put your head down like that, bad things are going to happen. And he took himself out of the ball game. I'm surprised he came back in. I'm surprised the staff, the medical staff, are letting him play.
3rd and a little less than 3.
It's good to err on the side of caution, especially with a head injury.
And especially when you're down by 31.
You bet.
Underneath, Rucker gets the block. And a good block from Alexander. Pick play, maybe? Well, Jordan Dizon, one of the leaders, the senior, and will he play on Sundays? He's got a heart, a huge motor. Talked about the way he wants to be remembered after he leaves Colorado.
Team player. I want to be the guy who everyone relies on, everyone trusts in, and everyone has confidence in. Because I want to be that guy where everyone turns their shoulder to and looks at because they know I'm doing my job. I just want to be that guy.
Honorable mention All Big 12 last year. The shock if he's not first team All Big 12. Tony Temple trying to take it to the goal line. He's got it to the 8. It'll be 1st and goal there.
And he had a good firm block that time on number 44, Jordan Dizon, in the hole. Wouldn't allow, couldn't get over to Temple. Good job by the offensive line accounting for him. But he's still been active tonight, Joel, with 7 tackles. And he's a tackle machine, averaging 13 tackles a ball game coming in here.
Missouri's been able to get the ball downfield on a regular basis ever since the first 15 minutes of play. So they've taken a lot of the first 6 or 7 out of the equation defensively, and I'm talking about the front seven for the Buffaloes. And the offensive line really protected Daniel. Now Temple on the option pitch. Down to about the 6. One of the things that I enjoyed the most in our conversation was the way Gary Pinkel earlier this week discounted altitude. He blew it off like he said, I don't buy that. I don't think it has anything to do with the way we play, the way you finish, and he's spent a lot of time on finishing games, and especially finishing this season.
A lot of talk about teams coming into Colorado, playing either in Denver or playing here in Boulder, whether it affects them or not. And we even talked to Coach Hawkins on the field yesterday about it and talked to him, and he said, you know, it really affects the linemen more on long drives, and not so much a skill player, guys, but hasn't affected, seem like, anyone here tonight.
Quarterback draw. Daniel down to the 5. At what point, now with a minute 24 and counting, and I brought this to you, or brought it up to you about it, with the 6-minute mark, we went to a timeout and away. I said, what point do you get Daniel out of the game?
Well, you want to be smart with your quarterback. There's no doubt about that. You don't want to put him in harm's way. And Chase Daniel, they're firmly in control of this football game, 41-10, the 31-point lead. And how much more do you play him? Will he play the fourth quarter? You know, the conservative approach would be to take Chase Daniel and put him on the sideline, but not necessarily the case. They may want to just run him out there because he's the most efficient guy, you know, at the quarterback position with the offense that they run.
Daniel back of the end zone. Coffman, touchdown. Yes. What a grab.
And what
he got it down. Big Chase Coffman with his 3rd TD of the game.
Having the presence to catch the football with his hands, that's a great job catching the football, but the footwork, that's what's amazing on this catch. Chase Coffman works right up the seam, and the quarterback throws it up high, and he goes up for it, Joel, and comes down with a foot inbounds for the touchdown. They let Chase Coffman just run to the outside here and comes back inside. The ball's going to be thrown to the back of the end zone. Look at the top of the F-back here, and that's where the ball's going to be caught, right back there for him.
They'll come back and get another look. 45 seconds left in the 3rd. Extra point. Perfect again. That's the 5th grab, and 3 have gone for scores for Chase Coffman. What about the balancing act on the back line to get the 2nd foot down? He did. He got them both in. So it's Chase Coffman's story so far, and the Tigers as a team by 38. The second. All he needed was 1, but he got the big one down in a hurry.
Oh, watch the catch here with the one hand here, catching the football with his left hand. He's got control of it, and the foot. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? Chase Coffman showing some athleticism here in this football game. What's that, 3 on the night? 3 touchdowns for the big guy?
That's 19 on his career. The most among active tight ends in the Big 12. 2 ahead of Martin Rucker.
Martin Rucker's a senior, too. He's going to be going. So Chase Coffman probably going to be the all-time touchdown leader for Missouri.
New quarterback in there. It's going to be Nick Nelson, junior from Mission Viejo. Tesoro High School. And on the give, Lockridge. So some of the backups also getting an opportunity now. Ryan Lockridge, a true freshman from Trabuco Canyon, California. And will we get one more snap before the end of the quarter? We should.
It's going to be close here. They may let the clock run out here to end this quarter. It looks like the 25-second clock is not going to come into play here on this, so we'll see.
So Nelson has Charles as the single. The blitz off the edge potentially, and that'll do it. And what a third 15 minutes of play once again by the number 9 team in the nation. So plenty of jinxes working against Missouri, whether it's Folsom Field or just the first Saturday in November. Our game summary: Missouri, since the first 15 minutes of play, has controlled and owned Colorado. And maybe the biggest difference, Missouri holding Colorado, that bottom number, to 173 yards of total offense.
Yeah, defense has really shined here for Missouri late in this football game.
Nelson going out to the tight end Sanders. And it's complete for a gain of about 6. We'll bring up a 3rd down. Joe Sanders, first catch, the senior from Nashville. And Missouri's got 4 big plays. 8 plays coming into the game, 30-plus yards. And today they have got 4. And you could say 4 better than 35. 72, that was the first one where Franklin caught at That was their longest play of the season.
Some huge plays by the quarterback, Chase Daniel, throwing the ball down the field. His receivers catching the football, making yards after the catch, and had a big day passing the football.
Nelson needs about 4 for a first down, and in trouble over the head of Sanders. It'll be a punt coming up for Colorado. Now, both Missouri and Kansas an opportunity to move up in the BCS standings. And Gary, I mentioned that because you and I were looking at that score. Oregon through 3 at the end of the third, 35-16 over Arizona State, ranked number 6 in the BCS standings.
A couple of teams could move up there from the Big 12, and thinking they would be moving down.
Going back from Missouri, and not a bad idea. Marcus Woods is going to wait for the punt, so get some other people involved. And I'd be surprised if we saw Chase Daniel. Delano, short one, and Woods with a fair catch. Unusual duty, but he'll take it. Back inside the 25. The Zoo's got it back, and they've got the ball game. Something about Mary or something about Noxie. That's right. Across the 30 to the 31, a gain of about 6 on the little pitch to Rucker. Daniel does stay on the field, but let's face it, Missouri is a rhythm offense. They want to stay in rhythm. They average 40 points a game, 8th most in the nation.
Yeah, they put points on the board, no doubt about that, and they do stay in rhythm. And Chase Daniel, the guy who orchestrates his offense very well, the backup quarterback, Chase Patton, look at us. Well, he's actually warming up here a little bit on the sideline. I can see down there he's still on the football, so maybe he'll get an opportunity to go win the football game.
So the opening minute of the final 15 minutes. It's going to be only the second win since '85 for Missouri and Boulder. Their first since '97. Rucker, boy, has let the ball kind of get into him.
Yeah, he hasn't caught the ball very cleanly today here, and a couple of balls just kind of done just that, gone through his hands, and don't know what the issue is there, but not like him a lot in this football game to have these balls get through his hands, and actually it hit him in a face mask. Lucky it didn't bounce off his head and go up in the air.
I thought it was going to plug in the grill. So coming in, leading the nation with 54 catches, at least among tight ends, and for Martin Rucker, that is his 5th grab of the game. And the scoring I was talking about, well, there's some fast company in the Big 12.
Yeah, putting points on the board. These guys are putting tremendous numbers up there, and Missouri certainly on top, in that group.
Good to see Woods get a carry. And Woods has it for about 9. Senior from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Just a couple of years ago, there's a guy who handled it about 100 times during the season. So it's going to be second and short for the Tigers. They just want to run the football, keep the clock moving.
Well, they played very well in this ball game, Joe, after that first drive where they had the miscue. They had the ball tipped and intercepted by Hippolyte, and then the Colorado Buffaloes put it in the end zone. But overall, after that, I think they played very well, getting big plays in the passing game from Chase Daniel, and that's just showing you all the weapons that they have. All the different receivers have caught the ball and made plays today for the Tigers.
Woods needs a yard, gets a lot more into the secondary. He's got a first down to the 48. Well, earlier this week, we talked to Cody Hawkins about Chase Daniel and how much he admires the work of the Tigers quarterback.
If I was half the quarterback that Chase Daniel was, we'd all be in a lot better shape here in Boulder. But I mean, I'm trying to get better every week, and I actually had the opportunity to meet Chase a couple years back, and he's an awesome kid, and we've kept in touch, and I couldn't be more proud of what he's done over in Missouri, and I'm always going to root for the Tigers except for when they play the Buffs, and it's great to look at guys around the country, especially see a guy like Chase who's a first-class person and a player succeed.
Daniel in trouble and down for the first time. The sack belongs to Lionel Harris.
And Chase Daniel not happy about that. He'd like to get rid of the football, and things did allow him to do so. And he usually makes good decisions with the ball, gets rid of it very quickly. But
blindside.
Yeah, blindside here. Didn't really see him coming. So Lionel Harris makes a sack here on the Tiger quarterback, and gets him down on the ground. And Chase Daniel kind of shoving and getting a little mad there. He's a fiery competitor, no doubt about that, and doesn't like to be taken down. He knows it's a big loss play.
Well, we've gone to Mizzou, and you see his numbers so far tonight, and he's had at least 5 or 6 drops, minimum. And we've really enjoyed talking to the young man. A real composed, mature young man.
Over 400 yards passing his football game, Joe, and impressive numbers.
Now Daniel, and he goes underneath. He goes to Macklin. Downfield, he had Saunders for a touchdown. Wide open behind the secondary. Well, our college football Saturday triple-header will continue right after this one here in Boulder. The Cougars in Strawberry Canyon taking on the Golden Bears of Cal. Can they get it straight in Berkeley? It's another fun setting for college football. So it's going to be 3rd down as the Tigers got back some of the loss after the loss of 12 on the sack. Washington staying in the backfield. Inside of 11 and counting. Daniel back the other way to Alexander, and nice open field tackle. Otherwise, it's going to be a 1st down.
Good tackle there. You said it. Chappelle Brown coming up, making a nice play on Denario Alexander, and
sophomore from Southern California, La Puente.
4th and 2 or 3 here, and Tigers deciding to punt the football. I'd be surprised if Chase Daniel gets back in the football game. You had Patton throwing the ball, getting loose over here on the sideline, thinking he's got to get in the football game. Not a lot left out there for Chase Daniel to do. He took a hit and contact there on a sack, and those are things you don't want to have happen to your quarterback late in the ball game and perhaps risk an injury with him.
Just the 2nd punt now for Crossett since the 1st quarter. So just about 10 minutes left as McBride waits back at the 5. Little pooch. And McBride does not call. Yes, he does. Calls the fair catch and goes down to a knee at the 15. So the backups, the reserves in there for the Buffaloes as they get it back trailing by 30. 29th of September. That day will live forever. Down by 7. Reggie Smith helped out the Buffaloes. They were trailing by 7, put it on the ground. And Cody Hawkins didn't take long to find Dusty Sprague on the back of the end zone to tie it up. Well, they gave it back to Oklahoma with a couple of minutes to play, but Oklahoma went 3 and out with this punt. Chase McBride, who we've seen tonight, his biggest return of the season. It set it up deep in Oklahoma territory. He's brought down by the punter, and it set it up for Kevin Eberhard. At the time, he was 4 of 8. He had not hit a field goal this long in his career. The 45-yard attempt, final play of the game, and it stunned the nation. A 3-point win for Colorado over, at the time, number 3 Oklahoma. They're now 5-4. It'll be 5-5 after the loss tonight to Missouri, at Iowa State next week. And then on Friday, Thanksgiving weekend, Nebraska. Can they get their 6th win? The turn on the corner. Sumler outside. And check that. It was Josh Smith on the carry.
Well, you take that win, Joe, with Oklahoma, and what it does for Dan Hawkins to the program. You see the success that they've had this year, getting the 5 wins. Now they've got losing this football game in Missouri. They need a win against Iowa State or Nebraska to get the 6 wins on the season and be bowl eligible. I think that'd be a huge statement for how far this program has come from a 2-10 season a year ago to perhaps a bowl eligible team, and that win against Oklahoma really set some things in motion in a positive way for the Buffaloes.
73 offense, 5 yards, 2nd down.
The penalties hurting Colorado all night long, and it continues late, even in a blowout. Man remaining for Missouri. Now A&M, who's down right now at the half in Norman. It's 21-0 Oklahoma. A&M, and I'm going to be there. It's an early start, 11:32 on a Central Time. Next Saturday in Columbia. Then K-State on the road and Kansas.
Yeah, that
sold out at Arrowhead. Is that going to be fun? The 24th Thanksgiving weekend. By the way, one of the things Gary Pinkel emphasized in our talk earlier this week with the head coach was 3rd downs both ways. He didn't like it last week, offense and defense. Got to be pleased, 10 of 17 offensively, and really pleased because he couldn't get his defense off the field last week. 11 of 20. Iowa State on 3rd downs. This week, Colorado is 3 of 15.
They've done a good job on both sides of the football, executing on 3rd down defense, 3rd down offense, back to what you would like to have as a head football coach with your team on both sides of the ball.
Now it's going to be 3rd and long. Nelson in there, the backup quarterback. Byron Nelson, the single set. So Ellis with 8:31 to play, and Nelson wanted to go screen Ellis. They finally get that play. And will they get to the marker? No. Slowed down initially, got through the tackle of Alexander, but Van Alexander did slow him down enough. They gang tackle him short of the 1st down by a couple.
Both teams here, Joel, just kind of got different players in the ball game, just trying to get through this thing, and Missouri took over in this football game at the end of the first quarter, when they made big plays in the passing game with Chase Daniel. He's up over 400 yards in this game, and that was just been the answer in this football game. They have played very well defensively, and the offense has made big plays.
Well, anytime you get an opponent to punt 10 times, your defense has done a job, as Woods calls the fair catch and gets it back. And Mizzou will have it on their way to 8-1 at their own Big 12 game of the week on FSN, presented by Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. Also brought to you in part by Sonic. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. By Suzuki Automotive and the all-wheel drive SX4 crossover. And by Whataburger. Just like you like it. A triple, lots of onions, mustard, lettuce, and tomato. First and 10, Missouri. Chase Daniel done 26 of 44, 421. 5 touchdowns, picked 1, so that was off a deflection. He had drops. He could have been a lot better off percentage-wise, but 421.
Throwing Graham Harrell numbers up there, I tell you. As much as Texas Tech throws the football.
Chase Patton's in there. Marcus Woods making the most of his opportunity late in the game. Surges across the 50, out to the 49, and was he a QB? Columbia Hickman QB. Chase Patton, relief of Chase Daniel, guy that grew up right in Columbia, Missouri.
You know, you got the Tigers ranked here number 9 in the country, Joel, and pretty impressive. They may move up depending on what happens today as far as in the conference, in the BCS rankings. And what's really strange is that this is the highest ranking they've had since 1981, when they were number 8 in the country. And Missouri this season began the season not even in the top 25 poll, and they didn't get there till the 4th week. And they were undefeated. So
Dan Devine is looking down and smiling right now. There's Washington into the secondary. First down, Tigers to the 35. Jim Knox, where are you?
All right, down on the sideline still. Missouri Tiger cheerleaders are the cheerleaders of the week. They're going to do a stunt here. What's this called?
It's called the Diamond Head.
Holding 3 girls at one time. Go ahead, let's check it out. Look at this. Okay, very nice. On the shoulders, that is 1. Here comes number 2. You talking about strength? Look at this, Joel and Gary. That is 3 girls right there.
Wow.
Plus refreshments on the side. Can you get any better than that? Sign this guy up. Who needs working out with weights? This is perfect.
Jim, I want you to jump in there and try that.
Washington on the outside taken down. How many triple cheeseburgers does that require?
Getting a score here too, Joel, that Oregon is up 35-23 against Arizona State. 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, so there is an opportunity here for both Missouri and Kansas to move up in the BCS rankings if that holds true, because Oregon is ranked up ahead of them.
And BC, number 2, is down early to Florida State.
Could be some more shakeup in a crazy season for 2007.
So big win on the road, and when you look at the overall picture for Missouri, they've lost 17 of their last 21 to Colorado. Really 16. Remember 1990, the 5th down game, but 17 officially. Washington sliding off it outside. This is the kid they really like a lot, and with good reason. A stiff arm inside the 10, down to the 7, first and goal. By the way, as you can tell in the background, I don't think we're going to have traffic issues leaving tonight.
Good job here running the football. You can see the explosiveness that he has, Joel, and why they like him carrying the football. Whoa. I think we'll pick something up back there, young man.
So 40 a game on average, 48 tonight. They'll bring Woods back into the game after the nice run by Washington. So Mizzou padding the stats. They didn't have a lot on the ground, though, early in the contest. They didn't have the balance they were looking for, and that they've had in the past. And they're going to need it in the cold weather on the road, down the stretch. Woods weaves his way, spins down to the 3. Hard running now by Marcus Woods. Tough inside running. So no matter what point of the game they give you the ball, make the most of it, and that's showing the staff a lot. You know, total yards, how about almost 600?
I'll tell you, 587 yards in this football game, and huge offensive performance here by the Tigers. And a good job by the defense as well, holding Colorado only to under 200 yards of total offense so far.
That is a success story for Missouri. Anytime their defense, with the kind of offense they get, I said it earlier, I said a lick of defense. Well, they got a lot more than that. Wow. So did Washington. Powers his way in. Touchdown, Missouri.
Wasn't going to be denied, that's for sure. He decided he's going to stick his head down and get into the end zone and took a defender in with him. And take a look at Washington, who's right here, and then he's going to run the football, just go around and go inside the backfield here and do a good job getting out there. Inside run there, and watch him just finish the run at the end. Just runs the attack right into the linebacker. Brad Jones just goes into the end zone with him.
Point after, Wolford splits the uprights. All Mizzou all the time tonight in Boulder. First win since '97 at Folsom. We'll come right back to the final 4:23. Missouri double fives, 55-10. Come back after this word from Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. True freshman running back Derek Washington on the board for the Missouri Tigers. Missouri now up by 45. They have scored on 8 of their last 10 possessions. That's how good it's been for Missouri ever since the opening 15 minutes of play. And they've had a lot of guys involved. One big tight end in particular, and don't call him peculiar, even though he's from that town in Missouri.
No peculiar about him. He's had a heck of a football game.
Now, what a story. That young man is only a junior, so he coincides with Chase Daniel. And if they ever hooked up, don't forget about last year when he led all Big 12 tight ends and receptions like Rucker this year. It'll be Robinson putting it on the ground, and now he's got to bring it back out. He barely gets to the 10. What a burger, what a play, and what a night for Chase Coffman.
Chase Coffman just kind of got it done in a lot of different ways, and he makes himself available to the quarterback and makes the run out to the catch and gets through the Colorado defense to put points on the board. Once again, here you take a look at Chase Coffman and the hurdle ability, and that's athleticism for a big tight end. And do you got hands? I think he's got some hands, Joel. I think he's got some footwork, too. Watch this catch. Are you kidding me?
Pretty good pause. Let's touch. The hurdle ability. You're all over it.
Well, we got to create words every now and then. we have a little bit of liberty here.
We love it. It's late. It's 55-10 with 4:17 to play. Lockridge is in there now at running back. Quarterback is still Nelson. And bouncing around Lockridge. Good job. And the secondary, that's only their 3rd first down since the first 15 minutes of play. First quarter, 99 yards and 4 first downs. Ever since, and let's include that snap at 11 yards. 104 yards of total offense and 3 first downs for Colorado. We knew Missouri was going to score. The big question mark for them, even in their final 3 games, their defensive unit. And that is a pick-me-up as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, and remember, they've lost Pig Brown for the season, who'd come into this football game as one of their top defensive players. And Justin Garrett has done a decent job. He's playing the free safety position now in the middle of the field, and he's held up pretty well back there.
On the ground, and did Missouri get it? Scrambled. Fennell Davis at the bottom, but Nelson did get it back. Back up the linebacker, outside backer behind Weatherspoon. So nice opportunities for the reserves for Mizzou. As the clock continues to roll, now you just want to get out of here healthy. Both squads. Wheatley got nicked up, dies on, mild concussion. We tried to keep him out of the game. Who would have ever believed at the beginning of the season that November 24th would mean that much to the North? Missouri, Kansas. Serious stop out of the secondary. And for Mizzou was Davis, the young man I was just talking about. Now the first down marker. All brought to you by Overstock.com. Live better with savings up to 70% on an amazing deal. Overstock.com. It is all about the O.
You talked about November 24th with Missouri and Kansas meeting at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City for perhaps the Big 12 North. Well, also an opportunity for the Sooners and the Oklahoma State Cowboys to have that same situation in Norman. Oklahoma State had an opportunity to make a big step that way with a potential win today, but they let the Longhorns come back. 24 points in the 4th quarter in that ball game for Colt McCoy.
It's a hold, and Nelson's down anyway, inside the 15. The umpire threw the flag. Kansas 9-0. for the first time since 1908 with 76 points on the board. So the remaining schedule now for the Jayhawks, and the severe test for them, especially after the way Oklahoma State got beat today, giving up 24 points in the final 15 minutes to Texas, losing by 3. Final play field goal for Texas, won it. That's what Kansas has in Stillwater. Some angry Cowboys.
Yeah, they're going to have some angry football team there, and a team that needs to finish a football game. And Oklahoma State did not do that today. Grew up the Longhorns, and that's going to be a tough contest for Kansas going up there, and they know that. But they've got to feel good about where they're at 9-0 on the season. And that game certainly could loom large in Kansas City. Could be for all the marbles if the Jayhawks actually lose one.
Woods waits for the punt. I've always felt when we see that Missouri, Kansas go to bed Arrowhead. Doing Chiefs games, it's always like a college atmosphere at Arrowhead. So it is fitting that that final game is going to be at that classic facility in Kansas City. Jim Knox, what's the latest?
All right, Joel, I tell you what, this has been really a costly game for Colorado in more ways than one. How about the injury department? They just wheeled off Ryan Walters on a stretcher due to a leg injury. Also, Terrence Wheatley did not finish much of the second half due to an ankle injury. And Jordan Dizon, he's back in the game playing, but with a mild concussion. The word had it, he wanted in so bad, he wanted a second evaluation. The doctors asked him some defensive schemes. He answered correctly. That's why he got back in the game. But, you know, his head's hurting right now, too. So a lot of injuries for Colorado right now. Not only that, they are losing big.
Yeah, Walters is their starting free safety that Knoxie mentions, the junior from Aurora. So that would be a serious blow as well for a team that needs one more win to be bowl eligible. Patton stays with their Woods, the running back, who just carried it. 594 total yards offensively for Missouri. This is a Colorado team, don't forget, that won at home last Saturday of September against Oklahoma. So this is a huge stepping stone for Missouri, and especially for their defense. Get to that thought in just a moment. On second down, it's Washington. Another first down for Derek. 2 weeks ago, Missouri's defense held Texas Tech to just 10 points. Red Raiders went into that game averaging 50 a contest. So that was the most impressive game of the season so far for the Tigers defensive unit. They lose Pig Brown, but they don't miss a beat. Garrett did a good job. Overall, front four did a very good job, didn't they? And Weatherspoon in the backer is not bad either.
Yeah, the defense showed up well here for Missouri tonight, no doubt about that. Stopping Colorado offensively, who kind of sputtered. I didn't think they hit on all cylinders tonight. There's no doubt about that. But overall, you got to credit the Missouri Tigers both offensively and defensively in this football game. They did what they needed to put points on the board. Huge offensive output by the Tigers.
And all of the last 3 quarters. And don't forget, Missouri had a real sputtering start. They had dropped passes. They couldn't get out of their own way at times. In fact, they were trailing 10-7 at the end of the first 15 minutes of play.
And there's our updated Big 12 North standings. You take a look at Missouri now at 4-1, right on the heels of Kansas at 5-0. So a 9-0 and 8-1 team. You know what's going to happen here the next couple of weeks, and what's going to happen on November 24th when these two get together.
Well, Gary Pinkel finally gets a win on the first Saturday in November. Congratulations to the Tigers coach. This program, his staff needed it, and they got it at a place that has just been kind of a temple of doom for them.
They haven't won here since 1997, so with a chance here to win this football game, they came in and played very, very well.
So Missouri, a game behind Kansas in the Big 12 North. Kansas 9-0. Missouri 8-1.
A little bit different in the Big 12 this year, isn't it?
It's all upside down, isn't it? For Gary Reese and Jim Knox, I'm Joel Myers. What a night for the Missouri Tigers. Been a long, long time since they looked this good this late in the year. Our college football Saturday doubleheader will continue. Coming up next, Washington State takes on the Golden Bears of California. You've been watching the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Football Game of the Week on FSN. Thanks for joining us. Missouri decisively. The knockout punch early. They win it 55-10 over the Buffaloes. So long, everybody. From